Yeah, we better go live before Mike starts like crying.
Mike will be squalling that we're late.
I know. Oh, oops, we're live.
Oops. I'm just joking, Mike.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Kiwi. Hi, Mike. Hi, Grasshopper. I don't think there's hardly anybody in here right now.
They will be when
Hey,
Derek just said
George.
you went live. Hey, George. I want to see if Grasshopper can identify something. Are you there, Grasshopper? Yep. That's one of my favorite things you've ever done. That I have. The little quill feathers and yep. I think I actually had to bid on that one. I'm not sure. I'm
If
not
anybody
sure.
wants to come up, I do have the link pinned up at the top.
I'm not coming up.
You're not?
Nope.
Oh, no.
I know, right? Alert the
I think my
press.
coffee's just about ready, so I'm going to leave you by yourself here in a minute.
Oh, good.
I need to fix my coffee and fireball drink.
Let me know when you're out of earshot.
So I thought we'd just like talk and have fun tonight. I was kind of thinking about what to talk about, and I was kind of thinking that I might talk about paranormal stuff because I haven't talked about that shit for a while, and see how many people in the chat have had paranormal experiences, and maybe tell about a few of mine. Because I'm a crazy old lady.
Right? Crazy old fish lady.
Yeah, I know you've had some, Bob, in
Yep.
your house.
Have a party in this wall sometimes. Not right now, though.
How often does that happen?
It's infrequent, and a lot of times the other day it was doing it in the evening, not even dark and or anything to do with that. And I'm like, well, there they go. It's just like there's a party in the next room, but you go in the next room and then it's back in the other room, so it's in the wall. Yep. Sometimes it happens a couple times a month, and sometimes I don't notice it or I'm not here for a while.
Do you have music and stuff, or just voices?
Yeah, it's just like if there were a party going on next door, and you can just hear the music, in the background, and people talking and glasses clinking. It's just like a party. Yep. Can't ever understand what the music is or what they're saying. It's like a murmur kind of thing. Baby sitting all week. Why don't monsters eat ghosts? Because they taste like sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Have you ever had any paranormal experiences, Grasshopper? Of course, paranormal would be including anything that's just flat strange, UFOs, cryptids, and ghosty type stuff.
I'm having one right now.
Nobody's going to pipe up and say they've ever seen anything.
Do that new thing where everybody in the chat's on the stream all of a sudden they're live. See how many are naked, first of all.
Only when you look in the mirror.
Yazzie, you can't hear Pam. What you doing?
I've always been somewhat of a skeptic until stuff happened to me, and I'm still not really sure how I feel about like demon type stuff. I'm not really sure about that. I think part of my skepticism on that probably relates to the fact that I'm kind of not a church person. So therefore the, whole demon thing is kind of
Yeah.
related to church type things, which I'm not that big on. But as far as there being something going on, I definitely do believe that now because I've experienced it. So,
Right.
and cryptids, I'm definitely a believer in Bigfoot, and I
What
am
other?
somewhat just because I've heard it so many times from like so many places and so many people. I somewhat believe that there might be something like a dog man out there, but some of the other stuff not so much. But then you just never know.
I can't go for the dog man. Oh shit! Here's some plants that I bought. I don't know when.
And as far as like aliens and UFOs, my thoughts on that has always been why not? What possibly could make us think that we're the only life in the universe or that we are the most intelligent life in the universe? That's a rather egotistical thing for people to believe.
Right. I'm trying to remember when I got these plants and where. Floating around in this tank in a bag.
And you don't know where they came from?
Well, when I look at them and figure out what they are, I'm like, oh, from the fish swap. That's where I got them. Yep, that's where I got them.
I was going to say, didn't you just go to a fish swap?
About 2 weeks ago now, but they're still green. They're still good. There's a few brown leaves that came off. Yazzie, did you take my napkin, my tissue? Is nobody saying a word in the chat?
Nobody's saying anything.
Maybe it's frozen.
I think they're all in stunned silence that I would dare to talk about paranormal stuff.
There is that. I saw where Mike said he was thinking about quit doing videos because they take so long.
That they do, that they do.
The ones I make don't. I just point and shoot and load them up there.
Kiwi says her granddad came to visit when her Nana got sick before anyone knew she was sick. And he had family around him and was holding my son. And Grasshopper says, hi, Jessica Socks. With how massive the universe is, it's a statistical impossibility that there's not life on some other planet. Exactly. I mean, the very thought that as many, not just our galaxy, but how many galaxies there are out there and stuff, that there's not a planet out there that can support life is just ludicrous. I mean, of course there's going to be life on other planets, and there is nothing um, to stop there being more intelligent life than us or more advanced life than us. So, yeah.
I think that we're probably an experiment.
And the government has finally started admitting on UFO sightings, that they've like kept classified for years and years. They're starting to release them now. Ghosts and spirits, yes. Bigfoot, not so much. Yeah, I did see a Bigfoot one time though, so I kind of have to. And you got to figure how many thousands and thousands and thousands of sightings there have been of Bigfoot from everybody from doctors and lawyers and policemen and
But
farmers and hunters and,
nobody's got one on their mantle, though.
no, but I believe that the government has them
Could be.
because I've heard too many stories of like um, Bigfoots being hit by cars and then like blacked out SUVs show up and take the body and and every bit of it, every speck of it is cleaned up and you never hear anything about it.
I hit Bigfoot once. But that was a girl that I took to the
So
prom.
I kind of think that that does happen and that they don't want us to know about them.
Oh, yeah. But,
Yeah, I've experienced ghosts too. I moved into this. Well, first thing that I ever remember was when I was little and I was staying at my grandmother's house. I remember there laying in bed and there being a glowing ball at the end of my bed, and I screamed for my grandmother, and she convinced me that I must have been dreaming. And then I remember on when I lived on Cape Cod. Now this was strange because I'm not saying it was a ghost; it was something though. But I was staying with a friend, and he had like a
in a minute.
two-bedroom house. So my daughter slept in one room, and he had the other room, and I slept out in the living room. And I was sitting in the living room. Everybody had gone to bed, and I was sitting in the chair, and I was watching the TV with no sound on. And this like ball of energy. And it sounds weird to say a ball because I couldn't see anything, but I could hear it and I could feel it. But it was like a ball of voices that were talking, but I couldn't understand anything that was being said. And it came like through the kitchen wall to my right and went right in front of me. And when it crossed in front of me, all the hair on my arms and everything was standing straight up. And then it went to the left of me and went out the living room wall. And I won't say it was a ghost because it wasn't like a ghost. It was like a ball of energy and voices.
Yeah.
But what was strange was then after I got my own place and stuff, James, the guy that my friend that I'd been staying with, he called me up and he was really shook up. I mean, his voice was shaking and everything, and he described to me exactly what had happened to me. And I'd never told anybody. And he said he was sitting in the chair in the living room, and this ball of voices came through the kitchen and crossed right in front of him and went out the living room. So that was kind of strange, but
Yeah.
I don't think of it as a ghost because it wasn't really that. It was paranormal, but it was something else. But from what watching different shows and stuff, the theory is that like ghosts and spirits are a form of energy. So maybe that relates to that ball of voices somehow. But that happened to me one other time too when I was living in that house that was haunted. It was Christmas Eve and I was finishing up making up a few gifts before morning, and a ball of energy like with the voices exactly the same thing came out from my left hand side where the coat closet was and went right in front of me in the sewing machine and then turned and went down the hallway and disappeared. And that house was haunted, but this was not. I don't think this was related to the house being haunted. This was something totally different. And I don't know what it was. I've never heard anybody on any shows or anything talk about anything like this happening. So I don't know if it's like a rare occurrence or if I'm just weird, but it did happen to James too. So I
You're,
don't know.
you're both just weird.
Yeah, but that was kind of different. But I was pretty skeptical of the whole ghost thing, even after those two things happened. But then when I moved to Montana, and I was living in this house, and at first it was just me and Megan. I figured that,
Oh,
yeah,
He was
But
already dead.
stuff was happening, but I was ignoring it because I was a skeptic. Like one of the first things that I remember is we'd gone for a bike ride and stopped at the little convenience store and gotten some sodas. And we got back to the house, and I set my bank card. I took it out of my pocket and set it on the table and went back to the bathroom. And when I came out, my bank card was gone. And me and Megan looked everywhere for it. I mean, we tore that house apart. And the next morning, I found it in my china cabinet inside of a bowl. And I thought that I was just like, my God, I'm getting old. Why did I put it there? That was really stupid of me, you know. And then I kind of forgot about it. And I know I was having trouble sleeping at night because it just seemed like I heard all kinds of noises at night and stuff. But I just started turning on my radio at night to kind of drown out noises so I could sleep. So I started listening to like having the music on while I was trying to sleep. And there was other stuff that I misplaced. Had gotten into this bad habit for some reason of misplacing stuff in the kitchen. Like I'd set something down and it'd be gone, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that was going on. I just thought I was getting damned old or something, or forgetful. Kind of kicking myself in the butt for being forgetful. And then one night I'd just gotten into bed and turned off the light, and I heard like cat's paws, like a cat walking across the bedroom floor and purring. Oh my God, it was purring away. And it jumped up on the bed, and I felt it walk across the bed. I could feel the weight of it. And it laid down on my legs, you know, and it felt really heavy. And I was thinking Mario, but Megan always took Mario to bed with her and shut her door. But in my mind, I was thinking it was Mario. And I reached down to pet him. And about the same time that my hand hit nothing, there was nothing there, it dawned on me that Mario he was in Megan's room anyway. And I flew out of bed and turned on all the lights, and it scared the shit out of me.
I imagine.
And the reason it scared the shit out of me is because you can, like, if you hear noises, you can explain them away in your mind, you know? Or if you, like, see a shadow out of the corner of your eye, you can explain it away. Or, like, I'd been explaining away stuff getting moved around in the kitchen. But you cannot explain away feeling the weight of something walking across the bed and laying on your legs. There's no way that you can justify that in your mind to be in just your imagination. You know what I'm saying? So for about 2 or 3 nights, I slept with the lights on. And then I was like, you know, fuck it. This is my house. I'm not going to let this scare me. I'm not going to sleep with my lights on all the time. So I started turning the lights off, and actually the cat was there probably at least 2 or 3 times a week, maybe more than that. But it was always friendly. It was always purring. I would lay in bed and listen to it run all over the room playing like cats play, you know, chase and stuff. And I would hear it jump up on the counter in the bathroom next to the bedroom.
You know, Sharpie has that cat that.
Yeah, his cat comes and visits him.
Right.
And I would wake up in the morning and hear purring on the pillow beside me. And then when I turned my head, there was nothing there.
Right.
I mean, like really loud purring. So the cat was friendly. So I got kind of used to it. But once I acknowledged the cat, that opened up a whole nother can of worms, because then I started like noticing the stuff that was going on in the house. You know what I mean? It's like, whereas before I was a skeptic and I just ignored everything, all of a sudden I started noticing things. So that made it totally different.
Mm-hmm. I always just blame strange noises on the cats.
Yeah.
Even if they're all with me, I'm like, it's just one of the cats.
And then Tucker came to stay with me for a while, and he was sleeping out in the living room. and he didn't want the music playing because he couldn't go to sleep, so I had to turn the music off. And that just made all kinds of stuff weird. Because there was always noises at night, like out in the kitchen, you'd hear cupboard doors slamming and dishes rattling in the cupboards, and footsteps walking across the kitchen floor. And a couple times Tucker heard like somebody talking in the kitchen. So, because he told me he'd been there about a week, and he told me, he says, I really don't like sleeping in the living room with my back to the kitchen, Mom, because the kitchen is noisy at night.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to look and see if Mike has a video up yet about that snake.
I think I remember seeing it come up a little while ago. But guys, I do have some stuff that I was going to try to sell tonight, but it looks like it's going to be another really slow night. So I'll wait a little while and see if more people come in. Because I need to try to scrape up enough to cover my rent. And then I'm hoping next month I'll be on Social Security and I won't have to worry about it anymore. Mike says, yeah, it's posted. But anyway, I don't know if anybody's interested in what I'm saying or not. So we might switch subjects or look at Bob's Fish or something.
Let's see. Let's see a video from Mike. Oh, Princess Unboxing.
But as soon as you come back, Bob, I'm going to go get my coffee and Fireball ready. Oh, canister filters stink when you open them up. I bet that was not fun. Bob disappeared. If anybody wants to come up, the link is up at the top. I don't know where Bob went. I think he went to look at Mike's video.
Jesus, it's quiet over here.
Hey, Xanadu. Oh, you're painting your new fish room? That's awesome.
Very first canister filter, no huge mess.
Okay, Bob, I'm going to leave you to show people your fish or whatever for a minute while I go fix my coffee. Because I need my coffee.
You can look at me. Hey, Xanadu. Working and painting the new fish room. Wonder what color. A teal. Possibly. You got to the part in your video, Mike, where you said, okay, let me get in the box. And then I remembered Pam wanted me to be here.
Yeah.
Let me entertain you. That was a good movie. I think the name of it was Gypsy. Mm-hmm. Mike, you remember the night that Pam, one of the nights that Pam didn't stream and you and I went in her time? Huh? Huh? She's so sweet and tiny. Mike said you're sweet and tiny, Pam. She heard that.
I'm ignoring him.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was fun. I've been toying with the idea of doing something like that again. Not in place of anything I'm doing now, but in addition. I really enjoy the hands-on. It's okay to show fish, but you can't really do a lot of hands-on with them. But that's what I was gonna, oh Jesus, ask you if you might be interested in doing that. You have? All right, then we should do that together. A lot of the people's like the reptiles anyway that don't have them. I like to look at them.
So, Mike, what kind of paranormal activity did you experience? Oh, I have coffee.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go watch some more of that video.
Yossi.
Can you see Ozzy? Oh yeah. Got on a tube top. I didn't realize. Can you imagine me in a tube top? Yazzie, a tube top. Crazy. He's out of it. He can't hear you because I got the earbuds. He's a good boy. Do you think pets look like their owners, Pam?
Sometimes.
You think Yazzie looks like me?
Uh,
Sometimes.
sometimes.
Yazzie's a cutie. He's a cutie.
Mike
Hold
says
him.
he lived in a very old apartment building that started out as a motel.
Ooh,
Oh,
that
yeah, I
does.
had that happen too. I'd get up in the morning and all the cupboards, top and bottom, would be standing wide open. And one time in the middle of the night, one of the cupboards like slammed violently shut. And Megan and I met each other in the hallway, and there was no light in the living room except a lamp that you had to like walk over and turn on. And then
Mm-mm.
the kitchen was past the living room. So, in order to get to the kitchen to turn on the light, we would have had to walk through the dark living room. And I told her she could do it, and she said, "Oh, hell no." And neither one of us wanted to walk through the living room and turn on the light. So, we went back to bed after a while. But it got both of us out of bed because it was violently slammed. What else did you have happen, Mike? Fried chicken and potatoes for dinner. Oh, that sounds good. I saw you say earlier that your wife and 2 of your kids are gone right now, so. Benoski, hello. I never had anything like broken or anything, but like the cupboards would be standing open, and like one time, I don't know if they're still popular or not, but I had like a stone rolling pin, and those things are really heavy, and they sit. You get like a little wooden cup shaped holder thing to put them in. And one time it like left the counter and went into the sink all by itself. A fog going across the room. I'd see like shadow people in the hallway and stuff, but I never saw a fog. And one time I saw an old man, like a full body old man. My daughter had come to take me to town with her. We were gonna go shopping, and we visited in the house for a while, and then locked up the house and went out to her car in the carport. And we were both sitting in the car, and she started up the car, and we both kind of looked up at the living room windows and watched an old man walk from across one window and then across the other window and disappear. So,
Ooh,
and
fried
then it was
chicken.
funny because we never even said anything. I just kind of, we looked at each other, and she says, "Are you ready to go?" And I said, "Yeah." And we got like halfway to Billings, and she says, "You saw that, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I saw that." But by that time, like, my kids all knew there was stuff going on because they'd all had stuff happen to them or seen stuff in that house. So it was like none of us got too excited when we saw stuff. But that was like the one and only time I saw like a full image, like a full body image, not just the shadow.
I saw the snake, Mike. She was getting her a drink after the trip.
And another time, Tucker and I were talking in the living room, and we glanced over at the kitchen table for some reason, and there was nothing on the kitchen table except for a salt and pepper shaker. It was a wooden table with just a salt and pepper shaker on it. And so we looked over, and the salt shaker is like sitting like this, right? And it's just hanging there. And Tucker looked over and like touched my arm and pointed, and he said, "Mom?" And it was just sitting there like this. And then after a few seconds, it just kind of went back down and like rocked and back and forth and then back into place until it stopped. And I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
No bong.
Did I hold that far up enough for anybody to actually see it?
No.
No? Oh well. You can take my word for it.
There was no bong sitting on the table.
Nope, no bong on the table that time.
I think you ought to make Grasshopper come up here.
Yeah, you should come up here, Grasshopper.
That'll teach him. Mike, I saw that space where your 90-gallon was. What are you going to put up there? Snake tanks. When have you heard from Jess Shrimp Granny?
I haven't heard anything from her for a little while.
I
Just
haven't
brief
seen her.
messages back and forth on Facebook, but just real short ones.
I haven't heard anything from her since I got those shells.
She's got a new nephew.
Yeah, maybe that's what's keeping her busy. There it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why don't you show that art? I mean, there may not even be enough people to
Not very many people in here.
still not like to see the art. Don't you know?
Well, I've got this one here, which is a killdeer. And it's a 8x10, which would normally be a $400 drawing. But if anybody wants to make a bid on it, I would let the bidding start at $75 on it.
I love the color, the
And like I say,
reflection.
that would normally be a $400 drawing, guys. So I've got that one. And then I've got these little 4x6 drawings. I've got a sandhill crane and some horses. But yeah, I need to sell them before the 1st because I've got to pay my rent, and I'm hoping by next month's rent being due, I'll be on Social Security and won't have to worry about it. But if anybody's interested in one of those, let me know.
Can I see the horse again?
Yeah.
Horses.
It's a little charcoal drawing.
It's got a bud in it. Is it
Yeah.
a card or a 5x7 or?
It's a 4x6 with a 5x7 mat. So it's one of the little bit bigger drawings.
What's the starting bid on that?
I'll just take whatever, but well, gosh, I'd hate to if I was to sell them outright, it'd be over $100. So
I know.
I'd hate to take less than like 35 or 40 for it.
Pretty.
Well, come on up, Grasshopper. The stream is pinned to the top.
Make sure Grasshopper is appropriately planned. anybody that would throw Rick Astley links on the internets.
Oh, wow. That was really quick, Kiwi. Wow. They
Where
must
was
be
that
close
from?
to you.
That's incredible. You know, I think Grasshopper is looking forward to that Stern talking to. I might just withhold that. Even worse on him.
Hey,
Hey, Susan.
Susan. It's good to see you.
All right. Kiwi, where did you order that from? Obviously somewhere local.
Oh, local PetSmart.
It's smart.
They don't have a great selection, but have a very fast delivery. I'd say so.
It's faster than pizza. Susan, we missed you at the fish swap a couple of weeks ago. And I missed you at the Aquaticon.
Well, sorry about that.
So, how are you doing tonight?
I'm all right. Hot. It's been very hot today.
It got up hot here too. It got up to like 65 or 6. No, I think, yeah, about 65, I think.
I wasn't really looking at the temperature. I just, it was sweltering.
But that's what happens. You live in California.
Yeah.
And no AC.
Oh, we got AC, and I even have an AC in my room, but I don't know if you can probably hear it right now. We probably turn it off. Is it
Okay.
noisy?
No, I can't hear it.
Okay, good.
I'm going to have to dig up my fans pretty quick.
Like your geisha fans.
My fans to keep the house cooler,
Oh,
air moving.
you ever thought about coming back as a geisha girl, Pam?
No.
uh,
I want to come back as a ghost and haunt all my exes.
Scare them on the toilet. That's the best place.
Yeah.
They can't run away with their pants down.
We had a great time, Susan. I bet Darlene told you some about it. I got to meet her husband, Bo. He's real nice.
It is not snowing right now. It snowed like earlier this week, but today it got up to 60 degrees, 65. And I don't think we have any snow in the forecast for the immediate future, although it's still possible here for another month.
We have rain the next couple of days, and I'm glad.
I think we have some thunderstorms rolling in, and I think we got like 2 or 3 days of sun, and then some couple days of thunderstorms and rain.
I miss the snow. In Idaho, it would snow. We would have snow, but it would snow a lot too. Sometimes I'd be, if when I didn't have a 4-wheel drive vehicle, I would be basically stranded in my driveway. I couldn't back out of it because
Yeah.
the street was just too bad.
It used to snow like that here in Tennessee, but no more.
Yeah, it's definitely getting warmer. We used to get down to like -40, but I haven't seen -40 for about 5 years now.
I've never seen that.
That was pretty cold.
Here, I'm going to send you something, Pam. You can.
And we had a lot less snow this year than we've had for quite a few years. I don't think there's even hardly any snowpack, so we're probably going to have a nice year of wildfires over the summer.
Don't say that.
Yeah, we'll send you some of California's wildfires. We don't need them.
Yeah, we don't need them either. We've got a lot of forest around us.
Yeah. But I think it was the last stream I brought up Paradise. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Paradise with
Yeah, it get pretty much burned up.
Yeah, I only live like 20 minutes away from Paradise, so.
In California?
Yeah. The fire just. I went up there a couple weeks ago to check it out, and it's just that you'll see signs for buildings or for businesses, and the lots will be completely empty. The signs will still be there, but the building itself is just gone.
Yeah. There was a little town outside of, when I lived in Livingston, there was a little town that burned up one summer. It started as a grass fire when someone was out working on their tractor, and within like 15 minutes it took out half the town, like buildings, houses, everything. Everybody just barely got out, and the firefighters went there, but they couldn't get anywhere close because it was so hot. And you could see you could hear big explosions when it got to people's cars and stuff, and their gas tanks would explode, and it pretty much wiped out that little town.
It's crazy.
And then it just went in a V up the side of the mountain and spread out in the national forest. And it burnt like a lot of acreage and was within like 5 miles of getting into Yellowstone Park. Who is that? I'll share it. Hang on.
Showing it to Susan primarily.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to share.
Wait. Yeah, that's the one where. Don't show the video, just the picture.
Is that it? Did I share it? Oh, wait. No, I got to do that. There. Is it shared now?
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep. I was at the fish swamp where we went to eat. That's Darlene.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Darlene's fish tank.
Awesome.
I'm sorry again for Rick rolling you, Bob.
It's all right.
I did it early on in the before the stream started, so yeah, I thought it'd be better then.
I actually used to like that song, but he was never very talented.
No, but it's turned into a meme, as you probably know, getting Rick rolls,
Yeah. Oh, that's right, Susan.
tricking people to play Rick Astley's "Never Gonna Give You Up."
You were going to say goodbye. A one-hit wonder. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't think you had anything after that or before that.
Damn, I must have sent you all my pictures. No?
Mm-mm.
Hold on, what's this?
You must have your camera sitting on top of a chest or something.
No, it's my dresser. It's I don't know, it's about maybe 4.5 feet tall. I'm not very tall, so I'm only like 5'7". So it's a rather large dresser that I have the thing up, and I'm just standing up talking.
There used to
I don't
be
know,
a
maybe,
name for, there's a
huh?
name for a tall dresser, but I can't remember what that's called.
Armoire.
Oh, that,
Armoire.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a tall dresser to me.
the
I don't want to get
Tennessee.
fancy with it.
Susan's got Mitch of Scruffy City Aquatics guest tomorrow at 5 Eastern Time. Mark that on your.
Well, we're going to have a surprise guest in about half an hour, I think.
What?
What?
Who's that?
Well, if I told you, would it be a surprise?
I guess. I guess.
Yeah, he's going to come up. It's Aquamate is going to come up here in a little bit.
Oh, cool. Susan, is he in Michigan? I'm trying to remember.
Sorry, I was pressing buttons.
There's two of you. Which one should I put up?
Uh,
I'll remove this one.
okay, yeah. I was pushing buttons, and then I hit the check because it said I had a notification to hit it. And I didn't see anything, so then I closed or I backed out of it, and it backed out of the whole thing. I should have just closed the X on top.
What kind of school did you say that is? Or did you?
What's that?
I asked him what kind of school that is, where he's going to school.
Where are you going to school?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not in school. Yeah, I never did college. I've been to college, but only as like a guest, dropping a friend off and stuff. But I've never actually taken a course or anything.
Well, why did I think that was a school you were at now? I don't know.
There's a
Dementia? I don't
there's
know.
a college in his town that he lives in.
Oh, okay.
Mitch is in Tennessee. He founded ETAA.
Oh, no, that's not who I was thinking of then. I know who that is, but it's not who I was thinking.
I'll have to try to remember to watch. I get busy and forget to turn on the streams, and then usually watch the replays. But
I'll
I'll
be
try
getting
to get in there.
I'll be getting off at the Ark at 5. I work again tomorrow. 1 to 5. like 8 to 5.
Oh, Kiwi says their winter starts officially in 5 days. Our winter is, oh, I was sitting watching a couple streams today where they were showing like strawberries and all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, we had snow this week.
Yep.
Ain't no strawberries growing here yet.
That's the one good thing about California is you can always find fresh fruit.
Uh-huh.
Always.
Oh, I know Mitch Norton. I try to remember people's
I used
names.
to, starting from when I was like in kindergarten, I worked in the strawberry fields every summer to earn money to buy my school clothes.
Child labor. Hey, Terry.
Hi, Terry. How goes it? You want to come up and say hi? We're just kind of doing just a visiting stream. Josh is going to be here in a little while too of Aquamate. He's on his way home and he says he'll let me know as soon as he gets in. You're eating hot dogs? I had hot dogs for dinner today. I wonder if that kind of goes along with the old saying, the best advice is like, never look anybody in the eye while you're eating a banana. It probably goes the same for hot dogs. Do you think, Grasshopper?
I think it applies more to corn dogs.
Oh, okay.
But actually, I had hot dogs for dinner today too. Well, chili dogs, but yeah.
Sounds good.
I had like hot dogs wrapped in a tortilla with a little bit of mustard.
We got a huge pack from Costco. The Costco hot dogs that are like that big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They sell those in the store, don't they? I mean, like,
They sell those in Costco. There's like 20 a pack or something.
but I
Some
mean, you can
ridiculous
get
something.
one. You can get one ready to eat, can't you?
Yeah, $1.50 hot dog and a soda.
I read a
Costco.
story about that. Yep.
Yeah, the owner or the CEO will not change that price. Yeah.
I think we have a Costco around here.
The closest one to me is in Denver. There is no Costco's in Wyoming at all. Nowhere in Wyoming. Can you believe that?
I could never buy like paper towels, toilet paper, just things like plates, paper plates, anything like that. It's not. It makes sense to buy it at Costco because you buy a pack of I don't know how much money.
Yeah, when I've lived close to Costco, I've gone to them, but there's no Costco's in Wyoming.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, now I get a chance when I was stuffing my face.
Right.
Hey, Jerry.
All right. Here's the dude. Can you put ketchup on a hot dog?
I do. I don't like mustard. I think ketchup's good.
Seriously, I just want to know because it's a Chicago thing for sure.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a national thing too. Do you put ketchup on a hot dog?
A lot of people do. I prefer mustard myself, but
I like ketchup, mayonnaise, and mustard on hot dogs. All three.
Never, ever. Clint Eastwood said, "Nobody in their right mind puts ketchup on a hot dog." And if Clint Eastwood says it, I'm going to have to agree with it.
Clint Eastwood also argued with a chair.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember that.
Well, I've had a couple. I've
Is
had
it
a
one of
couple
those
chairs
questions?
in my house that I'd want to argue with too.
Is it one of those things like the same thing as people putting steak sauce on a steak?
Well, if you got crappy steak, then put steak sauce on it. But
Yeah,
if
but
you have a really
most of the time
good
you don't
steak,
want to put steak sauce on a steak.
not
Yeah.
on a good steak.
No, definitely not.
Or, I mean, if
But
it's
I
a
suppose people
crappy
that like
steak,
cook the shit out of them to where they're just like a piece of leather, then they would want steak sauce on it.
What about ketchup
yeah.
on bologna, fried bologna?
I mean, if I had to eat a fucking belt, I'd want steak sauce on it for sure.
Right. Right.
Oh no, not sauerkraut. That's one of the very few things that I absolutely hate is
Oh,
sauerkraut.
I love the red sauerkraut.
What's wrong with sauerkraut?
Ugh.
Sauerkraut's great on Reubens.
Yes.
Come on, a Reuben is a great sandwich.
Corned beef is delicious. Sauerkraut, not.
I grew up.
Corned beef, sauerkraut, what is
Rye
it?
bread.
Swiss cheese, and
Rye bread.
Thousand Island dressing. That is a sandwich.
Oh my God,
I
I've
grew
got all
up
that
2
stuff
blocks
too.
away from a Steinfeld's pickle factory that also made sauerkraut, and I don't know if I think the brand still exists, but it's probably not as popular as it used to be. But Steinfeld's pickles used to be a big thing, but they made sauerkraut and it stunk up the whole town so bad. I mean, it really stunk. And my sister-in-law got a job with them, and she got chewed out one day for trimming too much of the rotten leaves off of the cabbage. Her supervisor started yelling at her that she was trimming away too much.
Yeah.
And she got mad and threw the cabbage at his feet, and it splattered him.
You want to talk
So
about?
that's what they make sauerkraut out of, people.
You want to talk about a company that can stink up a town, except you wouldn't think so?
Sugar beet.
No, Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Huh.
That's the way Mars is. We have M&M Mars factory here in Cleveland.
The cocoa shells sit and rot and stink like you wouldn't believe. And this is the place where they're making your Hershey bars.
Yeah.
Yum.
Well, like I say, I had the Steinfeld's pickle next to me, and then also growing up in Western Oregon along the river, you've got the paper mills, and they really stink too.
Oh,
they
paper
stink
mill-
up the town bad.
Yeah, I was when I lived in Minnesota, the St. Regis paper mill. Yeah, the pulp reeks.
Yeah, it
does.
stinks, and it stinks a lot, and it
But
stinks a long
so
distance.
does cocoa shells. I'm telling you, like who was it? Was it Bob that said Hershey or not Hershey, but Mars?
Yeah.
But you go through Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's where your Hershey chocolate comes from, plus a whole bunch of other chocolate. You smell it before you're even in city limits. You're like, holy crap, this stinks like fuck. And you wouldn't know that some of the sweetest things you're ever going to have are coming out of that factory, but I'm telling you, you smell it miles away.
Mm-hmm.
I had to drive past it every morning to get to work, and oh god, it was horrible.
It's the same way with the sugar beet factory. We had one in Nampa, Idaho, and that's how you get sugar. Besides cane sugar, it's sugar beets. They process those down, and they stink to high heavens.
Yeah.
When they process it, but that's how you get sugar, and yeah.
And then I remember driving through areas in southern Oregon where they grew, there was like fields and fields and fields of mint. And you wouldn't think that would be so bad, but mint they have to grow like in standing water. So it would be hot and humid, and the air is so full of the smell of mint that you couldn't breathe. That was kind of nasty too.
Immersed.
I am from the Midwest. I decided to go fit. Now, granted, I live right next to Chicago, so to get away from the city, I gotta go a couple hours. You know what pisses me off is in the spring and the fall when they decide to fertilize. And like you'd be running along I-80 or US 30 or US 90, you're just running along and these farmers decide that this is the time we got to fertilize the field, and you're like, it's a nice summer day. You got the windows rolled down. You're just trucking along the highway, having a good time. And then you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And by the time you smell it, it's too late. If you roll up the windows, all you do is just keep it inside your vehicle.
Nasty.
Freaking farmers. Cut it out, man. Give us a little warning. They should have like warning flags up ahead. Farmer.
Yeah, and that's not like chemical fertilizer. They buy stuff from the sewage plant.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
straight up cow poop, man. It's straight up just 100% animal poop.
Nasty.
When I lived in Cuna, I went to a taco truck, and I was telling some guy that was also waiting to get tacos. I just don't like when the sun goes down here because I don't know what smell or where the smell's coming from, the Mormon churches or the dairy farms, because it would smell bad at night in Cuna. And he goes, I'm an LDS farmer. And I'm like, oh.
Double whammy.
Yeah. Like, I stand by it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Mike's on this. Mustard is for hot dogs. Ketchup is for burgers. I'm gonna have to agree with that.
Yep, I agree with that too.
Mustard, ketchup does not belong on a hot dog.
What about ketchup on fried bologna?
Well, I mean, if you're at the point where you're frying bologna, you're so poor that any calories you can put on anything can,
That thick sliced bologna is good fried. It's real good.
any kind of calories you can get are kosher, I guess. Don't get me wrong, man. I'm so poor. I'm going to be eating like grilled cheese for like the next 2 weeks.
Right.
But I made cool grilled cheese, man. When I make it, when you spread the butter on it, I add like garlic and stuff so the bread tastes good.
Have you seen Gordon Ramsay make a grilled cheese?
No, I never have.
It's hilarious. He fails so hard at trying to make a grilled cheese, and he's like, if he got served that on one of his shows, yeah, he would definitely call them a donut or whatever British insults that he would sling. He burns the bread. He doesn't melt the cheese. He thinks he's doing great the whole time, and it looks so disgusting when he's done.
I'm fairly certain that was probably set up.
No, that wasn't. But yeah, there's a lot of I watched like Mythical Kitchen, and he had a thing where he was just critiquing it and showing how he would make a grilled cheese, which was actually delicious or looked delicious. But
oh no! Wait, what the hell? Sugar does not belong on a grilled cheese. I'm
No.
sorry.
No. Who
Well, how
said
in the
that?
hell do you put sugar on a grilled cheese?
I like grilled cheese sandwiches made with Havarti cheese.
I've never had Havarti cheese.
It's a real soft cheese, so it melts easily.
I've already.
I'll have to check that out.
I've never made a grilled cheese with mayonnaise.
Pam really knows her soft cheeses.
I was a deli manager, so I know cheese.
I just never mind. Okay, Pam, explain the difference between soft cheeses and hard cheeses.
Is it texture or flavor?
Oh, look at her eyeballs. She's
One's
over there
hard and
going,
one's
wait
soft.
a minute.
You know?
I gotta be careful what I say.
Mike.
I did. A mouse recently told me that Pam was pretty good at always having something to make sure that she could possibly smoke some type of tobacco product at all times. And I'm fairly certain that's true.
Yeah, I pack my own cigarettes, so
She even got to the point where she involved aquarium equipment.
oh my god, that wasn't cigarettes, so
I was trying to keep this like PC, you know?
yeah, I had a friend fit a pipe with like the top of I think it was like the top of a propane bottle, but it had 2 holes in the top of it, and you'd get the pipe going and then screw the cap down on it, and then hook up one of the holes to a aquarium motor with the hose and plug it in, and then when you like plug, so you got 2 holes and one of them's got the hose going down into it with the air, and then when you plugged up the other hole, it was like out the stem. Hey, it was just me. Sorry. But yeah, it was like a shotgun coming out the other end, out of the stem.
It was like a diesel truck full of weed, man.
Yep, that was it.
Star
It
said
was
no
actually
shotgun.
a pretty impressive party pipe.
Not that I would know. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
I know. It's like for those of us that are really addicted to tobacco.
I've been completely sober off everything for about 4 years now.
Yeah, quitter.
Yeah.
It's probably been 35 years since I've smoked anything other than tobacco. At least that long.
Well, I smoke cigarettes, but I don't really count that. But I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke pot, even though it'd be nice, but I don't. I haven't in about 4 years or anything else.
Well, it's hard nowadays, man. If you're in a state that doesn't allow it, the way OSHA standards are, I mean, you got to get drug tested to get a typing job. It's like, what are you gonna do? Yeah, you know.
Yeah, even when I got a job in
a couple fun things.
When I got a job in Colorado, they still made me take a drug test before they'd hire me. And Colorado was one of the first states to legalize it, so it didn't matter because the bosses still don't want somebody that's doing that all the time.
It's amazing how many people will take a drug test to know they're going to fail it.
What you do on the weekend, my personal opinion is whatever you do on the weekend, that's up to you. And look, I'm not saying it's right or wrong or anything. All I'm saying is the weekend is yours. You can do as you see fit.
Yeah, but you're right about different states. I know um, one of my daughter's ex-boyfriends. He did the internet thing, where he'd go out and hook up people's internet and stuff. And he hit a deer, and they drug tested him, and he lost his job. So
Because the
you can't
deer
have it. You can't have it
decided
in
to
your
jump
system.
out in front of them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's an automatic drug test if you have any kind of an accident, and you better
Oh,
not have anything in your system.
that sucks.
And that was a pretty good job, and he lost it over that.
Well, there's a lot to be, even with any kind of impaired driving. There is a flaw in what they do. Is they look at it overall, and then they say, well, the one driver might have been impaired, even though it wasn't that driver's fault. They still say a
No,
substance was
Yahtzee.
involved, even though it wasn't his fault. Where he could have been totally sober and the same outcome would have happened, but they still say,
Well, it's going to show up in your system for like up to 30 days, so you could
30
be like
days.
totally sober and still get nailed.
That goes on permanent record too.
Yeah.
you can just be cruising
Permanent
along.
record.
You're minding your own business. You're perfectly doing everything you're supposed to do, and then, bam, two cars freaking wreck in front of you, and you got nowhere to go. And they're gonna go, well, alcohol and or a substance was involved. It's like, really? Uh, I actually, crap. Excuse me. I'm hiccuping hot dogs. Um,
Mm.
I honestly think that distracted. I think cell phones are way more trouble
Oh,
than
yeah, definitely.
beer than beer or alcohol ever was.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah.
These people are spending more times looking at their cell phone than they are the road.
Yeah, that's the truth.
But yet, when they get into an accident, they, you know, there's nothing they can check for. What do you check for? Except the cell phone and the forehead, maybe. But other
Right.
than that, you got nothing.
Yep.
Morons driving cars are morons driving cars, and yeah, they're probably more of a moron if they're drunk or you know otherwise not sober. Um, but yeah, there are a ton of people that have gotten DUIs that have never hurt anybody. They were just driving along and got caught on a seatbelt check, and it's like, I didn't hit anybody. I'm perfectly capable of driving.
I
Except,
had I had this kid hit me that was without any doubts whatsoever texting. I was pulled off on the shoulder of the road. I mean, clear on the shoulder of the road, and he hit me like 70 miles an hour. And he was texting. And
full
I
throttle.
knew I knew I was in trouble. Um, None of us were hurt, but both of our cars were totaled. And I knew I was in trouble when the ambulance and the police showed up, and they all started talking to him and shaking his hand and stuff because he was the son of people that own the biggest hotel in town.
No way, really?
And yeah, and they totally fucked me over and didn't even give him a ticket. So yeah, that's how it goes in small towns.
Get out of jail free card.
Mm-hmm.
So that light wasn't really red, was it?
It was on a like a frontage road along the side of the freeway. And I was like totally on the shoulder of the road, and he wasn't watching. He was looking down at his cell phone, and he rear-ended me when I was parked.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't even get a ticket. I got
Right.
a ticket for parking.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
But like I say, I knew I was in trouble when I realized that his parents owned the biggest hotel and bar in town. And the ambulance and the police were all walking over and asking him how he was doing and shaking his hand, and nobody was even looking at me and my daughter. So yeah,
Damn, that sucks.
that's how that goes.
Note to self: don't pull off on the side of the road. No matter how bad you gotta pee. Sorry to hear that, Pam.
I
Yeah,
knew a
that
guy
was
years
that was
ago
that
that
that taught me that if you want to know the truth, that put the cynicism in me about police officers, that they aren't necessarily out there to do what's right and protect you at all. I mean,
Well,
I'm sorry, guys, but that's the truth.
Pam, on this one, it is one of those iffy ones where, yeah, that's an iffy one where they can say, "Were you pulled off far enough?"
Yeah, and that's what they said. And this kid, not only was he texting, but he had a suspended license.
Ah,
He was
no way.
driving. He was
DWP.
driving. He was driving with a suspended license because his license got pulled in California for texting and driving, and he had just moved back to Montana where his parents lived, and he hit me and totaled my truck while he was texting, and he didn't even get a ticket. He didn't get a ticket for driving with a suspended license. Nothing.
Well, there is something to be said for it's not you know who you are, it's who you know. There is absolutely something to be said for that.
Yeah, absolutely there is.
But
And then there was a big full page article about the accident in the local paper the next day, with a big photograph of him standing with his parents and his aunt in front of his wrecked car, and
well,
saying
for him,
how lucky he
right?
was that he
For
wasn't
him.
hurt, and we weren't even mentioned. Me and my daughter weren't even mentioned.
It's like,
So
hey,
yeah,
can we get my car fixed too, by the way?
yeah, exactly.
What'd the insurance company say?
yeah, right.
The insurance company did a quick turnaround when I asked them if they're um, when I told him that I was going to get a hold of the phone company and check his phone records and see if he was texting when he hit me. And then all of a sudden they had a check for my truck
Hmm.
the next day. So that tells you something right there too.
Well, at least yeah, fortunately you and your kid was okay, and you did get the money for a truck. So
Yeah. But like I say, I got a ticket and he didn't get anything. And he was so totally in the wrong. It
what'd
wasn't
you
even
get a
funny.
ticket for?
Parking. They gave me a
Well,
parking ticket.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up, man.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm going to say goodnight. I
Oh,
need to take a
I'm
shower.
sorry if I'm like being a Debbie Downer right now. I'm just saying that
Oh,
the police department is not always on the side of the right. I'm just
oh
saying.
no, I completely 100% agree with you. I probably even go a little bit further, but I don't want to make people mad at me, so I'm not gonna. um, but anyway, I need to go jump in the shower. Uh, I'll be right out there to finish doing the mod thing, but
Okay.
I'm yeah.
Yeah, Josh should be here pretty soon too. Yeah, and then the other thing, one living here in Laramie, there was a kid that got shot in the back here about 2 years ago now, and he had mental problems, and he grew up here in town, and he got pulled over, and he was real paranoid, and he got out and started running for his apartment, and the officer shot him in the back and killed him, shot him 4 times in the back. And then it came out that the officer that shot him had gotten kicked off the police department in Salt Lake City because he killed 3 people down there.
Yeah, I remember this.
So they hired him here in Laramie, and his daddy is a state trooper here in Laramie, and his family owns the ski resort, and his sister owns a newspaper and a Wyoming travel magazine, and it got brushed under the rug so fast you wouldn't believe it. I mean, it totally got brushed under the rug really fast. So, yeah, I've kind of lost. I mean, I grew up thinking that police officers were out to save the world and all this stuff, but I don't really think that anymore.
You know, to give you a little, I am not out there to save the world, but when I was younger, I thought I could make a difference.
Yeah.
And I thought I could make a difference by being a cop, right? I mean, that's what we got brought up on, right?
Yeah, and I'm not saying that all cops are bad, because I worked at the
No,
convenience store, and there was
saying,
officers that came in all the time that I really liked.
Pam,
But as a whole, it's kind of a corrupt organization.
I am.
Hey, Vic.
Wow. I'm not going to go into the whole organizational thing. I'm just going to give you personal experience. Okay? I wanted to be a cop, so the fastest way to be a cop was, when I got out of high school, was to join the military and become a cop in the Army. So I became an MP. I was assigned garrison duty, not combat. So I'm basically the cop on post, right? And one of our duties that we would do on swing shift and midnights was to do security checks, right? You had to go check doors on stuff and all of that. And I came across the one and only gas station on post, because this was Alaska. And I opened it. I went to check a door, and the door opened. I'm like, huh? So I just closed the door, backed up, went back to my patrol car. The earlier shift said it was secure, that it was locked. Now, they may not have checked it. They just drove around and just made, yeah, it's locked, it's locked, it's locked. Because it's always locked, right? And I opened the door, now it's not locked. I'm like, okay. I didn't see anything that made it look like somebody had forced their way in, like they used a crowbar or something. It just unlocked is what it looked like to me. The only unfortunate thing is now I got to clear the building. I don't know who's in there. I don't, I don't know dick. All I know is this door ain't locked, and it's supposed to be. So I call it in, and me and my partner, we go, and I go in first because that's the kind of guy I am. And we're looking around for a fucking light switch. We got no light switch. So it is Alaska, and you're in Wyoming. The night sky can be bright when the stars are out. So there's a little bit of light, but not much. So I start making my way across where I see an opening and I'm thinking maybe there's a light switch there, and this fucking stupid ass kid knocks over some fucking barrels, and I spin. Dude, I'm locked and loaded with a 1911 45 Colt aimed at his fucking face. And I was so close to pulling the trigger. You have no idea, because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I want to live, you know. I don't know what the fuck you guys are up to. And I damn near pulled the trigger on a 14-year-old kid that ran away from he ran away from home, and that was the first door he could find that was in a building that would keep him warm. And I almost pulled the trigger on him.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to understand what some of the cops are under, man. That, you know, you don't necessarily know what the intentions are with the people you contact. And I can 100% sympathize if you shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah. But this
You know what I mean?
yeah, but this cop
I'm sorry, but I want to live too.
yeah, but this cop shot this kid in the back.
Well, yeah,
And he went to high school.
and that's
with him
not
and
what I'm
knew him.
talking about.
And the thing is when I started researching it and my kids started looking, there's a website.
But here you go, Pam. What would have happened is, you know, when he knocked those barrels over, if he would have turned and I would have shot, you know, just as a, you know, an impulse, because these freaking plastic barrels are coming at me, and I would have hit him in the back.
Yeah, that's true. But then what I was going to say about this particular cop, like I say, he got fired from the Las Vegas Police Department and then got hired here. And the reason that they let him go is because he had killed 3 people, and he didn't get fired for that, though. He got fired because somebody was filming him, like they were standing in their yard, and he happened to pull over somebody right in front of them. So they had a camera in hand, so they were filming him, and he came over and beat the crap out of the guy that was holding the camera. And the video went viral, and then the police department had no choice but to let him go.
Yeah.
So then he got hired in Laramie because, like I say, Daddy's a state trooper here. And when we looked it up online, there's a website that tracks the most dangerous cops, the bad cops. And if you went on that website, he was number 1 on the list as the most likely to kill somebody again before this happened. So, and Laramie had him like out on the streets here. But
now,
the other thing that happened here that really lowered my view of the police department in this town is, you know, Laramie's a college town, and last summer the college kids were doing a protest. They were just walking down the sidewalk with holding signs, you know, doing some kind of protest, and the cops came and arrested the only, and I'm not even kidding here, they arrested the only black kid in the whole group of kids, pulled him right out of the crowd and arrested him. And then when the other kids started putting up a fuss, they went to pull out of there in a hurry and ran over one of the kids. So the Laramie Police Department is not the best in the world, believe me.
Well, all right. That's a tough one.
Yeah, how do you defend that?
Well, I can. It can be defended because it can easily be said that was the one that was causing the most trouble.
No, he was just in the crowd with the other kids.
But see, when you're in a crowd, and as a former police officer, if I'm in my cruiser and I'm trying to back up and get somebody out, and you're in a crowd and you know, they're all trying to get to the vehicle. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rely on video footage or something in that effect. If somebody gets tripped up and gets ran over while I'm in a police vehicle with lights and the whole thing going, and I'm trying to back up, and you're getting in the way, that's in my
Okay,
opinion.
but
In
then
my opinion, if you get in the way of a police car with lights going and you get ran over, you're just stupid.
yeah, but then back up to the original problem is they have a peaceful crowd of kids
It does
protesting with the signs,
in that
and they
case.
pull
It
out the only
doesn't
black kid in the
matter
whole crowd and arrest him.
if if for whatever, see, I don't know the whole situation, but if cops were called, couldn't have been that peaceful.
It was peaceful. The kids, they had
Well,
video.
I'm sure that
They had video
everybody
on the
in the
national.
protest,
They
I'm
had
fairly
video on
certain.
the national news of it because it was so
Sure, they'll
appalling.
all say it was a peaceful protest. Was it a peaceful legal protest?
Yeah, yes, they were just walking, and they were
So
told
then what they arrest them
they were
for?
told as
See,
long as
hold
not to
on a
step
minute,
off the sidewalk.
Pam. I'm gonna get 99. Now you can always find bad cops, okay? But 99% of cops, number one, they don't want to do the paperwork. Number two, they don't want to get involved. They just want to do their shift and go home, kiss their wife, and hug their kids. Okay? They were called for a specific reason. That would be the reason they were there.
It,
They didn't just show up because they were
yeah,
like, "Oh, we
they
got to do this."
no,
They were
they were
called to
there.
show
They were
up.
there to make sure that nobody stepped off the sidewalk. Is what they were there for. What they said. But it was peaceful. There was no violence or anything. It was just a bunch of kids walking down the sidewalk holding signs, and it
To me,
made
that
national
sounds.
news actually. So what they did made
It
national news.
sounds to me, honest to God, that the one kid that had the most to do with it got a little out of hand, so he got apprehended. And then while they were trying to back away from the situation, somebody got ran over.
Yeah, that's what happened. Except that the kid that got arrested was just
Yeah,
in the
but you
crowd.
can't blame the cops
He
for
was
that.
not doing
If
anything.
you get in the way of a car backing up
Yeah,
with
and no,
lights
I
going
agree.
on
I
and you
agree
get
with
ran
that part.
over, you're just stupid.
Running over the kid was an accident and all that, but the original arrest of pulling a kid out of the middle of a peaceful presentation and just snagging one kid out of there who happened to be the only black kid in the whole crowd, that was the suspicious part.
Yeah,
And he
except
wasn't doing
hold
anything.
on a minute,
They showed
Pam,
the
hold
film
on,
on national news. He was just walking with the other kids. They were all just walking.
Pam. The cops wouldn't have done it unless they were told to do so.
Well, whatever. Like I say, it made national news, and the police department had to apologize.
I'm sure there's all kinds of things that make national news, and people don't understand exactly the cop's point of view. Even what's his name, that the guy that was selling individual cigarettes, they just don't hassle people unless they have to. All right, the cops are no different than anybody else, because once they make an interaction, now it involves a whole shit ton of paperwork, and they really don't want to do it. You know, they would rather you go on your way. You know, that's
Hi, Josh.
the
Hey, Josh.
best.
Hey, Ed.
The best outcome is everybody goes out on their own happy way, and I don't have to do any paperwork.
Okay, let me tell you about my personal experience. Can I do that?
Sure.
My daughter called me. She was working at McDonald's. She was a closing shift manager. and she'd been riding her bike back and forth. She had her own apartment at this time, but it was like really snowy and icy. So she called me and asked me if I could give her a ride home, and I said sure. So she said she'd be off about 2. So about 2 a.m., right? So at about a quarter till 2, I pulled into the parking lot, and I pulled up close to the door because of the fact that I didn't want her to have to walk on the ice because it was really icy and snowy and shit. So I pulled up, and I'm sitting there with my headlights on, waiting for her, and I looked on the road right beside McDonald's. I saw the sheriff's truck go by, and I saw him look over at me and hit his brakes. So I'm like, okay, he's coming over to see what I'm doing. So I turned my radio off and rolled my window down to talk to him, and got out my driver's license and stuff for when he came up to the window. And I was watching him, and he pulled into the parking lot and turned his headlights off and pulled up behind me with no headlights or lights or anything on. And I'm like, what the heck? And I'm like looking in the rear view mirror at him, and he climbed out of his truck and pulled his gun out and knelt at my back bumper with his gun drawn, talking on his radio on his collar, calling for backup was what he was doing. And I'm sitting there watching him like, fuck, oh fuck, what do I do? You know, it's like, what the fuck is going on? And please, Megan, hurry up. And then after a couple minutes, the kids that were working with her came out the door, and then she came out, and they came out the door and saw the cop at the back bumper with his gun drawn, and they just kind of froze and stared at him. And my daughter had her back to him because she was locking up McDonald's, and she got the door locked, and she turned around and she saw the cop, and she stopped and she's looking at him, and he like looked at her and he pointed to my truck and he said, "Is he drunk?" And she's like, "What the hell? No, that's my mom." And he didn't even come up to the window or say anything to me. He just got in his truck and left. Never even came up to my window at all. And right after he left, another cop like pulled in the drive and went right on by and waved at me as he went by. That was because he'd called for backup. And I was like, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
believe me.
All you had to do was come up to the window. I had my driver's license out and everything, and you're sitting there squatted at the back of my truck with a gun drawn.
One of the reasons I'm not a cop to this very day is because I got to hang around a bunch of would-be cops, and yeah, I don't get along with them very well. And I 100% agree with what you're saying. I agree with it to a point. I even agree with why are we always yelling? Look, there are bad cops out there.
Yes, there are.
There are bad cops out there. It's getting better little by little. Cops are learning that, how to handle situations a little better than we have in the past. Is it going to happen overnight? No, but we're getting better. But believe it or not, when you need one, who else are you going to call?
Yeah, that's true. But then again, it's like they kind of.
You find it more in the communities that don't have high crime. Like, I live in the shadow of Chicago, so our crime rates kind of mimic what the Chicago suburbs is. For me to get pulled over for a traffic, thing, I'd have to be doing donuts in the intersection while flipping off a cop. Because the cops here have entirely too many different other things to worry about than traffic. If you're not seriously causing a problem in traffic, the cops aren't gonna fuck with you because they really don't care. As long as you're, you know, keeping up with flow and not pulled over somewhere or whatever, they don't care.
Here they do.
Uh,
I have a problem with my truck in that somebody in town that is a criminal has a truck that's similar to mine, and I get pulled over all the time when I go out in my truck. In fact, that's what Megan said to me that night when the
well, that's
cop was
what I
at
mean.
my bumper
You,
with his
dude,
gun drawn.
Pam, you live
Megan,
in a
Megan,
town that's
Megan.
got 12 people in it. You live in Wyoming.
Yeah,
There's
but
12 people in your town.
that's what Megan said when she got in the car after that happened with the police officer. And after he left and she got in my truck, the first thing she said when she climbed in my truck was, "God damn it, Mom, get rid of this truck." Because she's been with me many times when what I'll be driving down the road and a cop will be coming towards me and he'll look at me as he goes by and pull a U-ey and pull behind me and follow me for 3 miles. I mean, this shit happens to me all the time, you know.
Ed wants to know if they have cops in Australia.
Yes, we do. And hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. I was just listening away. Yeah, we do. They're more concerned with finding people and traffic stops than protecting people, and they're pretty pathetic, to be honest with you. There's a lot of
but Australia doesn't have liberal gun laws like we do here.
No, we're not that dumb. We don't have guns. Everyone, I actually just came back from having a replica gun in my possession going, I shouldn't have this. What am I meant to do with it? So I took it to a gun shop. And they said, yeah, that's illegal. You can't have that. You need to dispose of it. And I said, well, how do we do that? And they said, we do it for you. And we have to destroy it. So I just literally just went and handed a gun back. And it wasn't a proper gun. It was a gel gun. So
what the hell is a gel gun?
Like a paintball gun. That's what I said. I'm like, I haven't heard of them before.
It's a paintball gun? It wasn't even a real gun.
Exactly, but it's illegal. It can do damage.
All right, so, can I answer why are we always yelling made a good point? It is actually a point that I think about quite often.
Hey, Dee Dee.
Why are we always yelling? Said, I don't think police should have military surplus vehicles and weapons. Which, in the United States, the police force is very militarized. They get their training, like military training and the whole thing. And here's the thing. If you look back in like the 60s and 70s, we had police forces that would actually, maintain a community and go, hey, look, I'll just give you a ride home. If you got drunk, they just give you a ride home. They maintained a community. As times went on, harder and harder stuff happened, and more police officers kept getting killed because you had the Bonnie and Clyde attitude, and nowadays we have the Grand Theft Auto attitude, where these punk that's the best way I can say it. These punks think that they can just do whatever they want, and that's why we have a very militarized police force, is because they want to go home just like everybody else. That does create, I 100% agree with what that person is saying, is because a militarized police force is a lot harder to deal with than a community type policing. However, where do you draw the line? Because if you're super nice to everybody and all of that, that's a good way to get killed. So it's not something that you can just uh, figure out right away. I mean, they need to have all these skills. They because you could be in bumfuck Egypt, Wyoming, where Pam lives, and some dude's packing like 40 freaking pounds of coke, from Canada going to the United States, and a very nice officer pulls them over for a hey, one of your tail lights is out, and the next thing you know, they're breaking out freaking M14s, and they just put 16 rounds in the guy and drive
There
off.
was there was one of the, this is really stupid. There was a guy that got pulled over on the freeway outside of town here, and it was one of the biggest drug busts ever in the state. He had in his van, I don't even know what all he had, but he had a massive amount of drugs that he was transporting, right? And he was fucking going 90 miles an hour on the freeway.
Yeah, that's the thing
So he
that
got,
gets
he
me,
got
man.
pulled over for speeding. What an idiot.
Are you stupid?
You know? That's so stupid. I mean, if I had that many drugs in my car, I'd be following the speed limit. You know what I mean?
Well, that's one of the things as well. Though, like we have drug problems here and all of that, and as
Yeah, if you're
why
gonna
are we
ride
always yelling,
dirty,
saying that,
just obey the laws, man.
Yep,
saying
exactly.
yeah, I looked into it a while ago. The police in Australia carry guns, but the officers involved in shootings is in the single digits every year because everyone's not armed. Everyone's not running around with a weapon. So that's the problem.
Yeah, and
Police,
Wyoming
of
had,
course, they're going to have a gun, and they're always going to, and they need to protect themselves, and they need to look after themselves, and there's always going to be a really hard job. But if everyone's got the right to have a gun just because it's their right to have a gun, you're never, ever, ever going to be on top of it. And it's really, really sad sitting on the other side of
and
the world watching what's going on over
it's
there.
really sad because in Wyoming, I saw this in an article the other day. Most of the states in the nation have, like they had it broken down into states, and like the second highest state for the average number of guns per family in the state was like 36. That was the second highest in the United States. The highest in the United States was Wyoming, where the average family has 239 guns.
Right,
I am not even kidding.
Do you have
I am not
239
even
guns?
kidding. Wyoming is out of control.
Are all the cows armed over there? All the farms, each cow's got a gun.
Yeah, each cow gets an M16, man. We're on it.
But Wyoming basically has no gun laws at all. I mean, I had this one guy came in the convenience store that I worked at 11 o'clock at night with 2 guns strapped to his hips. And I looked at him and I said, maybe it's not the best thing in the world to come into a convenience store in the middle of the night with guns.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, I need them for protection. And I'm like, you need 2 guns to buy a fucking soda?
Yeah.
From the convenience store?
No, what do they call those rolled up tacos that they sell at them things? What are they called? Tojicos or something? Whatever. You never know, man. They might shoot back.
32 guns.
But yeah, Wyoming has the most lax gun laws in the whole United States. So, and we also have the most guns per capita in the whole United States by a long ways.
I've been messing around.
Dee Dee has some guns, yeah. Dee Dee guns.
How many Western movies have you guys seen?
Oh God, I haven't watched a Western movie for years. I used to watch them all the time when I was a
Well,
kid.
I just have to ask, all right? Because I've been messing around with this for
Oh my
2
God,
days.
thank you, Only Oscars. Thank you.
Tell
Thanks,
me if
Only
you
Oscars.
guys tell me if you guys recognize this sound.
Yeah, I do.
That is a cult.
Yeah.
Single action army.
Does this get
It
banned?
was it was willed to me. What?
I'm just wondering, like YouTube going, okay, hang on. Whatever happens next, we make sure
it's
that
my
this doesn't go out.
species.
Shit.
Do you know this sound? That's where you're rolling the drum along your arm to make sure it's loaded.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've never seen, oh, actually, today I saw a whole bunch of guns, but I've never really seen a real gun. People over here have guns, but they're all farmers, and yeah, it's all within reason. But yeah, you've got to have a proper reason and a license and everything.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just read your thing today, actually, Pam, on Facebook, that made me go, "What the hell?" And then I looked into a few more things. I'm like, "This is worse than it's like
What
being
the
reported
list
about."
of the list of school shootings?
Schools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my God, wasn't that like appalling?
and
I
I
mean, you
put it
just
in.
kept scrolling down, 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 down. There's
That's what
been
I
so
mean.
many of them.
And then one of the people were commenting saying, "And they're actually missing some."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's just sad and messed up. Ugh. Anyways, anyone keep fish here?
Wait a minute. Wait. We gotta actually keep fish? Oh fuck. I'm out. I'm out.
What are you up to, Bob? You feeding?
Oh yeah, just feeding fish, bedtime feeding. Yeah.
What is that you're
Yep.
feeding? them?
Who was the first school shooter in the United States?
Bloodworms. I can just pull them out. It's a lot easier than a syringe
that's-
or a pipette. Still a bottle.
That's better than a turkey baster.
Right. It's
That's
just
good.
one action, just squeezing it. Right. Yep.
I don't know. One of these days, I'm gonna have to do on my stream all those guys that, or all the people in chat that either agree or disagree with me need to come over and we'll talk about it. Hey, I don't have a right or wrong answer to any of it, to be honest with you.
That's the thing, that there isn't really. There's no black and white. It's got to be in the middle, in the gray area.
That's the unfortunate thing, is it's all a gray area.
But people don't see that. They're either on one side or the other, and they got the line drawn and they're ready to fight. But the answer isn't on either side. It's in the middle.
I think you have to look around the world and see how it works for everybody else that doesn't have the same problems. And I know a lot of Americans that I've spoken to, when we talk about the buyback scheme that happened after our mass shooting, was everyone's like, "You what? You sold your guns back to the government?" And we haven't had those issues.
We have a shit ton of buyback programs. They're usually
Yeah.
done on a local to state level. The only unfortunate thing is, and I know you kind of made a joke about it, but it is literally written in our Constitution.
Exactly. So
And
when was
how
the
do you
Constitution written,
change
though?
that?
Well,
It
when
was
was it
written
written?
like 200 years ago, when it took like 5 minutes to reload a shot into a gun.
Yeah,
So,
I'm
yeah.
like, I'm all for the Constitution and everything, but I wonder if they still would have written the same thing if they could have gone forward a couple hundred years and go, hang on,
Yeah,
kids are walking around with
kind of
guns that
we
can
got.
shoot
This
30
isn't
rounds
quite
a
the thing we
second,
want.
whatever. But yeah, I think it just had a different meaning back then.
Yeah,
That's my
exactly.
interpretation. I'm not an American, so I can shut up because it's got nothing to do with me.
Did
But
you-
Oh no, you have actually said that the same thing that some of our own population says.
yeah, I
Um,
just hate
the
hearing all
the
the
only
bad
thing
news and all the
is
hate.
it goes to courts. You know, there are tons and tons of laws all the time that come across, and we don't even hear much about them because they don't make it out of the courts simply because the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
But anyway, that this is delving into politics, which I try to avoid on my stream. So let's talk fishies. But did you see? Did you see the little the YouTube video clip that I posted,
No, I
No.
did.
Josh? On it was called something like the deadliest animals in Australia.
No, is that
Oh
sorry on your
yeah.
YouTube channel or on Facebook?
That was on Facebook. You should
What's
No.
you should watch that
my
too. That was
the
pretty good.
deadliest animal in Australia is the goddamn kangaroo. How many traffic accidents are caused by kangaroos?
Well, this
Sorry,
one's different. It starts listing off all the animals that can kill you in Australia, but it keeps like breaking into the chorus saying, "But we don't have AR-15s."
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you don't have an AR-15 to get rid of them.
Listen to this. Oh yeah, I'll have a listen.
Anyway, let's get away from politics. So, what have you been doing in your fishing room?
Me, I've set up, yeah, like a
Holy
Nintendo.
crap! It's midnight. I gotta go, man.
Well,
Damn, I love you to death. I gotta go.
good night,
Okay,
Terry.
thanks for coming up,
Nice
Terry.
talking to
Have a good
all of
night.
you. I gotta go, man.
Yeah, I set up a Nintendo tank, which has been really cool. Filled it with
Oh
like,
yeah, I saw that. That looked kind
yeah,
of
and
awesome.
it's doing really well. And then I put in some tiger endlers, which I've never kept before, and I've already got babies. So now I'm hoping the shrimp will breed, and the plants are growing, so it's doing absolutely everything I'd hoped it would. So that'll be a really cool one to watch over the next year or so. And I started making these.
Yeah, I watched the video where you set that up. It was pretty awesome. Oh, little
The
terrariums.
No, it's a wabi kusa ball.
Oh,
It's a bit
okay.
tricky to show you, isn't it? So that's actually an aquasoil ball. And I had in my rainbow tank, I had a bunch of Rickia and Monte Carlo floating on the surface that intertwined and just created like this big coverage. And I just grabbed it out, cut it up, and then just wrapped it around the ball. I'll show you this actually. I haven't shown anyone. So yeah, I made the ball, and then I'm doing like a really hard
Oh, I
to show
love
you.
that.
But that's the same thing. That's Monte Carlo and Ricciera without water. So I just got to try and keep it damp. I don't know how. I mean, it's growing, but it's probably need to water it once a day, and I'm only doing it once every couple of days. So I'll up the ante on that. And yeah, here's another one. These are just candle holders. I went shopping with my wife, and I was like, "Can I come in and have a look at some stuff?" And basically, yeah, just again,
Awesome.
same thing. Really hard to show you without the light. And then this is perfect because it just keeps the moisture in there. So
Yeah,
far, so
it's
good.
almost like a little terrarium, or what it brings to my mind is like bonsai thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I've actually made, like a little corner over there with a couple, and I've emptied out a wabi kusa, like one of those Neo Air square tanks that I'm just going to do a small wabi kusa pond style thing in there. But yeah, they're all wabi kusas.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, he's pretty
Awesome,
cool.
awesome.
And then I set that black water tank up just there. I did that a couple of days ago. That one, that's Dad's tank. So I got that for Dad a year or two ago, and yeah, I went to his house and got it, and I'm gonna set it up and put white clouds in it because he that's
Nice.
that's how he got me into the. Oh, hello, we've got some extra fun on the chat. That's how he got me into the hobby, was with buying me some white clouds when I was little. As a white cloud swims past me over here, and I think it'd be a good way to remember him.
Cool.
So that'll be fun. Except I put,
Ed. I just had to delete a says naked fun webcam girls, boys, gay, trans, 18 plus.
why they spell it that way too.
So yeah. And Ed says, hi naked, nice to see you. Sorry, Ed, I banned them before they could answer you.
How come Ed's not up here? He's normally here.
Right.
I know,
Sorry.
Ed should come up.
Yeah. What's going on, Ed? But yeah, I put the wood in there, obviously, when I started it, and I was like, I bet you I get tannins, and look how many tannins there. It's just, I don't want the tannins in there, so I'll probably put some Purigen or activated carbon and do a bunch of water changes and then start it all again. But at least I'm sinking the wood.
Ed says he's laying in bed petting the cats.
That's what he's always doing.
Sounds cozy. What time is it over there?
Here it's 11:12, but I'm on Mountain Time, so it'd be like
2:12.
1:12.
11,
1:12, right?
What?
1:12 on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, 1:12. Yep.
It is 3:12 here. I have to go and get Harry from school in 15 minutes, but I can jump back up if you're still playing. He's meant to be in after school care, but for some reason I've got to get him today. 10:13 on the West Coast. I have a premiere that I'm putting out in 3 hours, so you'll be in bed and asleep. But it's a good little video I made with a friend down here about how to set up an aquascape, and it goes for 50 minutes or 53 minutes. It's literally start to finish, empty glass box, how to glue a hardscape together, plant it all out, what equipment to use, how to cycle it. So hopefully be a handy one. Yeah.
Very nice.
We made it 2 years ago, and it was like a full series. And then the other day I was like, if I put all of that together, you could just sit down and get all your answers rather than having to click on different videos and stuff. So I'm like, stuff it. Let's do that.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll premiere it, so it'd be cool if I can have a chat with everyone while they're watching it.
Everyone, let's see, in 3 hours it's going to be 3 o'clock in the morning here.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it's funny, like, like we've been part of the Fish Fam for however many years now. Always near the beginning and for those first year or so, it was predominantly a couple Aussies and a lot of Americans. But over the last year or two, there's a lot more Aussies jumping in to, watch what I've made. And then there's a few in England and stuff that they're all getting up at that time. So it's a tricky time to go live, but Blake usually goes live in 4 hours. So I was like, oh, this could work. I could do something, and then leads into Blake's live. But unfortunately, he's got an earache today, or an ear infection, so he won't be going live.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Did you? I remember all of our chats over lockdowns and COVID and all that. Did you ever end up coming into contact with it?
I haven't, because I'm pretty much a hermit. I mean, seriously, I am. I don't leave the house at all. Right now, my truck's broke down, so even I'm not even going to the grocery store. I'm like ordering it and having stuff delivered.
Yep.
But the numbers are ticking up again here with the new variant going around. But I haven't come into contact with it.
What's the
When
new variant?
in 2020, when it first started, I lost my older brother, to it.
Yes.
But
I've had it. My whole family's got it. Most people I know have had it now. But I think, yeah, in the end, I think waiting out and getting the different variants that probably not as severe as what happened over there at the start.
yeah, I've got
One of my neighbors,
I've been waking up like not being able to breathe and stuff, but it's because it's the start of springtime here, and the pollen count is real high, so it's like
Yeah.
allergies kicking in. I mean, I literally don't see anybody ever.
my neighbor
You
across the
know?
road, he got it really early on, and he had to go get scans like 6 months later because he was having issues breathing and kept having this cough. And he's all good now. But then he got it again a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, all right, so what's the comparable difference? He's like, oh, it's nothing now compared to what it was the first time. But that's
Yeah,
just
the variant isn't as bad, but you are not, just because you've had it before or have gotten your vaccinations, you're still going to get the variant if you're exposed to it. But
Yes.
it's not as bad as like the first couple of them were.
And then you can get monkeypox and
Oh yeah,
influenza
monkeypox.
A is coming down
That's,
here as
that's
well.
from flying monkeys.
Yeah. Right.
Like the Wizard of Oz, flying monkeys are spreading it around the world.
Yeah. What fish are those, Bob?
These are just some little convict fish that have been in the fish fam. Nathan had them when he passed, and James and Ed went over and brought them back, plus a snake. And Anthony's had these. I have some of them, but he's trimming his fish room down, so he sent them back to me from California.
Ah, cool. And is that just Java moss in there, or what's the plant?
Yeah, just Java moss in there.
Nice and healthy and reaching for the sky.
Hi, Scuba Steve.
Yep. There's a few crebensis in there too. They eat after the convicts.
I lost all of my crebensis when we had the floods here, and I love them, but yeah, they get tricky when they just keep breeding, and you go, I don't know what to do with all of these crebensis. So what's news with you, Pam?
Oh, not much.
Working on much art at the moment?
I've got a couple things for sale, but I haven't really had enough people in here to do an auction. And I need to get them sold before the first of the month so that I can pay my rent. And then I'm hoping that I can start getting Social Security by the end of next month, so I won't have to be under so much stress.
Yep.
Is what I'm hoping. And then once I get that, I'm probably not going to have that much art available for the Fish Fam, because I'm going to start, once I get caught up with everything, I've got a couple commissions to finish up and I'm getting everything in the mail Friday that I've got ready. And I'm probably going to go back to like doing big pieces and entering art shows and stuff, because whereas like people don't realize on here and don't really like bid the stuff up very much.
Yep.
Whereas like if I enter a piece in the art show, I'm looking at, $2,000 or $3,000 for a piece. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to doing that.
Know your audience.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's cool.
And people don't really realize that I'm a pretty well-known artist in the art world. So
yes,
it's not like I'm just like a Fish Fam member that does art and tries to sell it on the side. That's not what it is, guys. Sorry.
Well, I'm proud to have one of your pieces up in the lounge room over here. And I've got, where's the turtle? Turtle's always sitting
Oh,
here.
yeah, you got the turtle too, huh?
Yeah.
I wish
I
I
moved-
had some of our.
Rejig the. I kept it in the card thing. Hey.
Oh, yeah, I remember you won that one, huh?
Yeah. Well, and I remember you did a video just on drawing this one as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Really cool. So it
Nice.
always lives right in front of my editing suite thing here, which is just a computer. But I moved the tanks and stuff. That's why I didn't see where it was. And yeah, that one that you did of Dad is up in the rumpus room, which is awesome. I know he absolutely loved it. He was pretty speechless with that one. So thank you again.
I'm glad he liked it.
Oh, I got rid of. I should have taken a photo because remember the story behind that was that he had one made and he really didn't like it. I cleared out all of his things and I rang up the council and they to come and do a rubbish pickup. So in his council, you can, I think you can call it once or twice a year, and you just put everything out and they'll come at a certain time and pick it all up and take it to the tip. And I ended up putting that painting out there, and I should have taken a photo and gone, this is what it was. Because it wasn't a bad painting, it just was not that. So I reckon you would have gone, yep, I see why he wouldn't want it, but I see that person's a talented artist.
Well, I hope the drawing that I did made him happy.
Yes, it did. Can you put a flower horn in with Oscars? It depends on the size of the tank, I would think. But theoretically, they could live in the same sort of water.
I would be a little bit iffy about it though, because I mean they could be going along fine, and then all of a sudden you get up one morning and like one of them's dead.
Well, that's why I'm thinking it'd have to be decent sized tanks so that they're not in each other's face all the time. So like
Yeah.
at least a 6 foot maybe. It's tricky. I've never kept Oscars or flower horns, but Thirsty Rabbit always told me if you want to get a larger cichlid, because I've got a 4 foot tank over here, he's like, you could get a flower horn, but couldn't get anything bigger. That's it. Like, and can't get more than one. You can't add another fish or whatever. It's just that. But if you want Oscars, you should. I think he said 5 or 6 feet. I can't remember. I wouldn't miss killing my Oscar. Yeah. Yeah, the flower horn would be more aggressive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Flower horns don't play.
Seen one guy do it, no problems. I think it's all about the attitude. Also, I think that guy kept his tank overfilled to disperse aggression. Yeah, okay.
Well, I know only Oscars has some beautiful Oscar tanks that have like
Yes.
tons of Oscars in one tank. I mean, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. But I personally have never like kept an Oscar, so.
You know what the thing is with Oscars and big fish like that? It's not going down to a fish store and setting up a fish tank and buying a couple of fish. It's buying a puppy dog. It's buying a kitten.
Yeah.
It's buying a full proper commitment for a large animal that's going to need your care all the time. And I think I definitely want an Oscar one day, but that's one reason I have never done it. I'm just gone, I don't have the room. If I get the right room with the right tank and then go, yep.
Yeah, they aren't exactly a community fish.
No, exactly. It'd be fun to get but that's the thing. You see them I don't know if you see them all the time over there, but you can go into any fish stores really and buy an Oscar that's this big.
And and they're so cute. And
Yeah.
And I've read so many stories of people that bought them and dropped them in their fish tank, and then there was like mass murder happened overnight, you know?
I put one with African cichlids a long time ago when I didn't know what I was doing. And I think with that tank, I ended up giving pretty much all the fish back to a fish store because same thing. There was all this aggression, and I really shouldn't have put that fish with that fish. Like an African cichlid with a South American cichlid. Is it a good idea? No, but yeah. So therefore, I have actually kept one once for a little bit and went, I've done the wrong thing.
Yeah, but they're so cute when they're little, you know. I mean, they're really cute.
Yeah, they are. It's funny. Looking over here, and I've got the large goldfish because that's the biggest fish that I've got. He's about that big. And yeah, I put some white clouds in there, and there's a hole in the back of because it's got a fake rock background. There's a hole at the back, and a bunch of fish have gone, I'm going to live in here. And one of them was there. Well, I think I had about 5 white clouds or something. And all of a sudden, in the last couple of days, this white cloud's now swimming around the tank. I'm like, oh, this is like 6 months ago. This white cloud went to the back. I'm like, is there more? Is he the only one that's come out? It's going to be an interesting tank when I pull that one apart eventually and try and get fish out of the back and the front of it. But yeah, it's cool to see. Cool little reminder to have him.
So what else you got going on? Are you going to start streaming again?
Everyone keeps asking me that.
That would be cool.
Hey?
That would be cool if you did.
Well, I really like doing the Acclimate experience. It was just having like a guest on each every now and then. It wasn't like a weekly thing. It was just hey, let's have a chat for an hour or whatever. Because there's no pressure. Because also I live in Australia, and even though like you guys are slightly different time zones.
One of my favorite memories of streaming ever was when you had me on, and I don't know if you remember this, but I couldn't get on. The link wouldn't work, and I couldn't get on, and we were struggling, like trying to get me in the chat. And then when I came in, I pretended that I had no sound.
Oh my God.
and you were like, oh no. And then I ruined it because I started laughing, but I started like talking, but not making any noise.
Was that just you and me?
To pretend my sound didn't work.
Was that just you and me?
No, Blackie was there and a couple other people.
Yeah, probably one of the.
It was like the funniest thing. I mean, I still remember that because it made me laugh because I'm such a shit.
Yeah, I think I remember the one you're talking about. I had a chat with Big Tank Hank the other day, and I did the same thing to him actually because we tried to do it and my phone was stuffing up, and then he was having problems, so we had to reschedule. So we rescheduled. We had a chat. Everything was good. He did his intro, and then I just started.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Like,
that's what I did to you. And
don't do
the look on your face was just so priceless.
I've got to go and get Harry, but I'll only be like 10 minutes, so I can jump back up if you're still going.
I suppose we could do a little bit longer one tonight if it's okay. Are you going to be okay, Bob?
I'm going to be finished feeding here in about 10 minutes, and I have to work tomorrow at the Ark, so.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's good to catch up, Bob. Maybe we need to get you onto one of those Acclimate experiences as well. I've got a couple of people lined up, and I thought if I could get 5 or 6 people keen, then
awesome.
Yeah, well that'd be good. I'll message you on Facebook. I'll work it out. I know I've got a couple, and then I'm thinking, all right, once I've got the list, I can try and come up with dates, and I'll organise it. The only other thing is Harry started playing football on Sundays and basketball on Saturdays. So I always did it on a Sunday morning, but can always do it some evenings as well. All right, well, I'll pop off, and if you're here when I'm back, I'll jump back up and say hello. If you need to leave, Pam, I understand.
Okay, well, we'll just kind of see how it goes.
Cool. All right. Bye, everyone.
See you, Josh.
How do you use StreamYard? How do you get out of this thing?
Leave. Sounds like me.
So let's watch you feed for a little while, Bob.
I'm almost finished. I was trying to get the Oscar to come up because y'all were talking about the Oscar and he's being a little shit. I don't even see him now. Yeah, I should ask him about coming on the Fish Mafia panel too. You know what?
Yeah, he would be a fun guest.
I didn't ever tell you who it was that confirmed today, did I?
No.
You won't believe it. Daniel Keeping Fish.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Never streamed or been on a live stream like that. So he'll be on not this Sunday, but the following. Getting some really awesome guests. He is a great guy too. Plus he has an awesome channel.
Yep, that'll be fun.
DKF. Let's see. Angelfish are saying they haven't been fed. They have, but are these angelfish anyway? Are there any people left in here?
16.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
It's kind of the middle of the night, huh?
It is. Yeah. I gotta walk these dogs and cover my birds up and get in bed. For sure.
Baby cat snoring. Aw. Mario snores every night. Oh my god, that cat snores. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna hold up my art, guys, because I mean I'm not like stressing yet, but sometime before the first, I need to sell a couple pieces just to pay my rent. So I'll show you guys what I have anyway.
Who got that piece earlier today? Or was it last night? Monday night?
Monday
Chappie.
night, Patty
Chappie.
got the buffalo.
That's right, Patty. I know her and Chappie were.
But I still have it. I'm going to put these on Patreon too. And like I said, I just need to make enough to cover my rent. And hopefully by next month, I'll be getting Social Security and won't be stressing about it. But
Yeah.
I do have to sell these within the next week. And I can probably do a couple more. You know, I could probably go on your channel and try to get a still shot of one and draw one. Only Oscars. I could probably do that this week. But I'm going to show myself for a minute here and show you what I got. This is a colored pencil on handmade paper of a killdeer that was in Yellowstone Park. And it is 8 by 10 and in an 11 by 14 mat. And if I had this in a gallery, it would be $400, a $400 drawing. So, but if anybody wants to bid on it, I would take a starting bid of $75 and see where it goes. But anyway, so I got that one. And then I have some 4x6s that I would start off with like $35 bids, although they're about $100 drawings a piece. But I've got some little charcoal and it's in a 5x7 mat, so you could just pop it into a 5x7 frame. And there's this one of the horses, and it's charcoal on the handmade paper. And then I've got, oh, there it is. This one here, which is a sandhill crane and colored pencil. And it's also a 4x6 with a 5x7 mat, so you could just drop it into a 5x7 ready-made frame. So those are what I have. And if anybody's interested, you can contact me later or make a bid on them or whatever. Like I say, I need to sell them within the next week, or sell a few things within the next week, so that I can pay my stupid rent and not get a 3-day eviction notice from the stupid people that run this trailer court.
I'm glad to hear you're going to be.
$50 on the horses. Okay, that's a start. We'll start with that.
You're going to be doing the art outside of the Fishfam again, and really getting.
And everybody, if you buy something, I have an Uber booked for Friday afternoon, because I want to take everything to the post office on Friday afternoon, including some stuff that I've given away a while ago now. And I mean, everything that I have is going to go, including if I sell these pieces, is going to go out on Friday afternoon, because my truck's not running, but I have an Uber like reserved and booked for Friday afternoon. So these pieces would be going out with that too. So anybody else want to bid on the horses? We got only Oscars with $50 on the horses. And to be perfectly honest with you guys, I will still be like throwing stuff up for auction every once in a while, but once I get my Social Security and start doing stuff for shows, it won't be as often that I'll make them available for my friends on here. So, yeah, just to let you guys know that there's not going to be as much available after like a month from now. Oh, I love those guys, Bob. And it looks like nobody else is going to bid on it, which I don't mind a bit. If we sell it to only Oscars for $50, I'm happy with that. So I'll give it just a few minutes, and then we'll say it's sold to only Oscars. I could do a 3-day auction. But the first thing I'm going to do, I've got like within the next month, I'm going to catch up with my commissions and get everything set up to where I can work on show pieces. And I have a invitation was sent to me the other day from Ducks Unlimited, asking me if I would please do a piece to enter in their show. So I will probably be doing that for a little while.
Nice.
I also got an invitation from a show at the Wildlife Art Museum in Jackson Hole, but they only gave me like 2 weeks, and I just didn't have anything ready for that one. But I'll probably be doing that one next year, and I'll start getting back into it. But I'm like I still get invitations from art shows, because I haven't like been doing the shows for a few years now, but I still am a fairly well-known artist in the Western art world and the wildlife art world, so they still keep sending me invitations, so I'll just start doing that.
Yep, you can Google you.
Huh?
I said you can Google you and Wikipedia you.
Oh yeah,
I know.
like I say, I've had my work published in books and everything before, so, and I've won a lot of art shows.
Yep.
And placed in a lot of art shows. In fact, I used to depend, when I did it did nothing but that. I used to depend on prize money as much as selling the work, because like 9 out of 10 art shows that I enter, and I end up placing and winning some prize money too. So I actually am only Oscars. Believe it or not, I actually am a well-known artist. People don't realize that. I think people think that I'm just like a fish keeper that decided to, do some art and sell it on here, but that's not really what it is at all.
No,
I'm actually a fairly well-known artist.
right. Yes, you are. Mhm.
But I would say that the horses are sold to only Oscars for $50, and my PayPal is under this email account. So you put that into PayPal. Hang on, I'm putting it in here.
Hey, Sandy, I hadn't been looking at the chat.
PayPal. So you just bought yourself a charcoal drawing, only Oscars.
Yeah, she is, June. She is a well-known artist and very collectible. I've got a couple of your pieces, Pam.
Yep.
Couple of them.
And one of the two nicer pieces that you have are those two birds, the osprey and the white crowned sparrow.
Right.
Are both like pretty nice pieces.
I love those. They're framed on the wall. And then I've got the crane. Is that what it is? No, what's the other one I have framed? You sent it framed. I can't remember now.
I don't remember.
Let me stand up. I can see it in there. It's
But anyway, only Oscars. That's my PayPal account is under my email, and also you make sure to either put it on the PayPal on a note, your mailing address, or I'll send it to me within the next couple of days. Because like I say, I do have a Uber ride set up for Friday afternoon to go to the post office and get everything sent.
Yazzie's making a noise like a bullfrog. What are you doing, Yazzie? He wants to go out.
But that the one art show, the Ducks Unlimited, that is such a big art show that the entry for it is in September. So I have until September to get a few things done and decide if I want to enter in it. And that isn't for this year. The entry this September is for 2 years from now. The actual show is not like this upcoming year. It's for the year after that. Because it's such a big show, they have to do it that far in advance. Because they make like all kinds of course, you've heard of Ducks Unlimited. They have the shows all over and sell the prints and stuff. And they'll pick out a few pieces from the show to make prints of. And then they'll fly the artists into where they have the printing done and have them sign and number the prints and pay for their hotel room and all that stuff. And
Nice.
It's a pretty big deal.
Nice.
It's a pretty big deal.
I'm going to take this picture down, Pam, since it's just my blinds. The kitchen window.
But I started out wanting to like get some of my art, and I still do. I want to get some of my art to the Fishfam, just because I love the Fishfam, and I think it would be really awesome if everybody in the Fishfam had like at least one of those little ACO cards or something, with my name on it and my art, because I just think that's kind of cool.
I wish I had one of them.
You wish you had one of them? You've got a couple there, Bob.
Yeah. I think 30 something pieces of your art. Counted once, but I think I've done more since then. then I've got a whole bunch of Sarahs, a fair amount of Priscilla's, and also I've got one piece of Sean Peck's left. Holly's
Yeah, the little cardinal, that is so cute.
I didn't give it to the one I got it for yet. I decided to hold on to it for now.
I have a couple of racks that I bought, and I have some of Priscilla's prints, but I don't have anything of Sarah's yet, and I really want to get something. One of these days I will.
I've got the little red dragon of hers. That's cool stuff.
But yeah, only Oscars. If you want to send me a couple Oscar photos, or I can go and try to like pull one. Oh, you probably spelled it wrong, which is pretty common, but here, I can pull it for you. Hang on. Because I have a link on my camera to it too, and I can pull that real quick. So hold it on a second, and make sure you send me your address. Give me 1 second here.
Ed, did you see the little red claw crabs in there? The skippers. I found those at PetSmart. They're brackish.
Oh, that's not what I wanted. Darn it. I pushed the wrong button. Can you believe that?
Surely not.
Okay, this is it. And this is it. It says Pamela Nelson because I haven't changed it from my married name yet, but because it's a pain in the ass, so don't worry about that. And let me post it. There you go. Oh, I don't care. Just the main thing with doing a drawing is the light. If it's got good light, like, and good shadows and stuff, that's the most important thing. I can put lots of colors in fishies. It's fun. But anyway, yeah, if you click on that link, that'll be good for a while.
Hey, Josh. It's back.
Hey, Josh. Welcome back to the Madhouse.
What happened? You sell something?
Yeah.
Ooh. And super stickers. Hell yeah.
I sold this. I'll show you what I got. I got this little drawing of horse, and this is what I sold.
Oh, very cool.
Little drawing.
You and butts. You like drawing
I know.
butts.
I like the butts. Horses' butts are nice. And I still have this one left, which is a sandhill crane.
Very cool.
It's a 4x6 or a 5x7 with the mat. And then I've got this bigger drawing of a killdeer,
Oh, nice.
which is an 8x10 drawing and an 11x14 mat. So it can just be dropped into an 11x14
Love it.
frame with glass. And the reason I did this one actually was because of the reflections. I don't know if you can see the reflections, but I like the reflections.
It's very
But I don't know if you have anything like the killdeer over there, but it's a really cool bird. And one of the things that the killdeer is famous for is that they like nest on the ground or in bushes like low to the ground. And if a predator gets close to, or a person walking gets close to their nest, they'll start making noise and like running away with one wing dragging on the ground like they have a broken wing to draw you away from their nest.
That's a good
Wow.
question.
Or
That's
draw a
very cool.
predator away from their nest. They'll go after it thinking it's got a broken wing, and then when it's far enough away from the nest, it'll fly off.
And then you'll get lost.
Yep.
That's cool. Chattanooga Ed, Josh, have you ever seen a horse in real life? Actually, I own a horse. Well, I suppose my wife owns a horse. So yes.
Yeah. Email me your mailing address, only Oscars. Sorry, Josh.
No, that's cool. Yeah, we have a standard bred. He's 16 hands high. His name's Billy. I thought you were going to say they kill deers. What? I'm lost.
And when you email me only Oscars, I'll put my email in again. Copy and paste, because if you don't spell my name right, it will not come through.
And she'll be very offended.
Because I won't have any address for you. So copy and paste it.
I don't follow what you're saying, Chattanooga Ed.
Hi, fantastic freaks.
Hey, fantastic.
Hey, Austin.
We went for a drive the other day, and our dog. So I've got a sheepadoodle. Do you know what a sheepadoodle is?
No.
I can bring him in here, but he looked pretty funny.
Is it a sheepdog and a poodle cross?
Oh, okay.
English sheepdog.
Oh my gosh, I bet it's just cuter than hell.
He's pretty cute. He's the only thing is he's pretty much just black, and he's got like a white chest. Whereas I see a lot of the breeds that have sort of 50% white, 50% black, or whatever. They're a bit more sheepdog looking, but he's a bit more poodle looking. But anyway, he had a date with the vet last Thursday.
Uh-oh.
It's that time to get rid of those things.
Oh
And
no.
he hates us now. And we're trying to be really I'm trying to just keep him calm. And he wouldn't put the bucket around his head. Like, he's just freaking out about the bucket or the cone around his head. And then I've let him go for a little bit, and I'm like, nah, you're getting to the stitches too easy. I'm going to have to put the cone around. So he's had the cone for about 5 days. And he just, when he first got the cone, he just he just stood like this for hours and hours and hours on end.
Oh no.
He's like, and now he's a bit more used to it. But what he does is he just runs right up to you and sits on your foot, and then he's just like, all right, don't leave me. Anyway, we went for a drive the other day, and because we didn't want to leave him, we took him with us. And I thought he was making this crying noise, and Harry and my wife were like, pull over and turn the car off so we can hear what's going on. And I pull over, turn the car off, and I'm like, nah, it's not him crying. I don't know what it is. But I pulled over on the side of this hill, and I looked down the hill, and there was 2 massive deer just feeding at the bottom of this, it wasn't even really a paddock, just open area. And deers aren't native to Australia. But there's a lot of wild deer that live around sort of out where I live. But you rarely see them. So it was really cool. And Pickle's sitting there just taking a video of them. And I was like, all right, I just got to see what happens. I couldn't help myself. So I beeped the horn. And you could just hear the horn just go beep.
Oh
and then,
my God. Thank you, Alexander.
What? Alexander. Thank you. That's awesome.
Alexander knows how to shut me up. I never know what to say. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex.
That's very cool. I've seen Alex do that in another stream. I can't remember who it was.
He does it almost every Wednesday on Dan's stream.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Well, Alex, I stream on... No, I'm joking.
Right?
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Alexander. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
The killdeer was the bird.
It's awesome.
Ah.
Killdeers are really awesome little birds. They're really cool. I like them a lot.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, okay. That's what Ed was talking about. That's why I didn't click as to what was going on. Yeah, anyway, when I beeped the horn, all of a sudden, yeah, these massive antlers just rise up, and we're like, oh, it was pretty majestic. And because Ed was talking about deers before, but he was actually talking about birds, that's how well I'm going with this story.
I thought you were going to say, like, one time we were camping and we had this old van and we'd gone, like, way out in the middle of nowhere to go camping. And coming back, we were on a logging road, which is just like a dirt trail, like a 2-track trail on the side of a mountain. Where on one side of us, there was a cliff, and on the other side, and I'm talking like a narrow dirt trail, like 1 foot from the tire is a drop off to this huge, like, big drop off, right?
Yep.
So I'm like scared because I'm in the passenger seat and it's one lane. If I don't know what we would have done if we would have met anybody coming up that little trail, because like I say, I mean, it's just like pure cliff and drop off. And the damn van, like halfway along this cliff, started making a really weird squeaking noise in the motor. And we're like, what the hell? And we couldn't stop because, I mean, there was no place. If you stopped and wanted to get out, you couldn't open the driver's side door because the cliff was right there, or the hill. And you couldn't open the passenger side unless you wanted to jump over a cliff, right? So we had to wait till we got down to the bottom. And at the bottom, there was a regular camping site. So we pulled in there, and the motor was still squeaking like hell. And we jump out, and run around to the front and open. And it's an old van, so it's just got a little hood thing to open it up. And we opened up the hood, and there was a damn squirrel in the motor sitting there.
Oh,
That's what was making the squeaking noise, was this damn squirrel.
Was he all right?
Yeah, he was fine. But, oh my gosh, we laughed and laughed.
I'm trying to read this name over here.
I know, I can't really read it. I've never
Is
seen
it
that before either.
Sammy Prepper and Friends Live? Is that right?
It's something live.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
it
a
does say
koala.
Friends. Yeah, it's Sammy Prepper and Friends Live. Hello.
Hello, welcome. Sam Prepper and Friends. Wait, now I want to get confirmation. Yeah, there we go. I love what you've done with your name. I don't know how you do that. Change the font of your name. Oh. I was watching something the other day where they were getting snakes out of the front of people's cars. I wouldn't want to do that. I think last time I was on one of your live streams was the day that I had a huntsman in the car.
Oh, a spider?
Yeah, the
Ugh.
big ones.
Those are those great big, like, hand-sized spiders, aren't they? Yeah.
Face
Yuck.
huggers.
Yuck, yuck.
And they're harmful. But they're scary looking. They freak everybody out, but they're just... I think they can bite you, but...
They're big. Don't they like hunt birds and stuff?
No. Tarantulas do, but we don't get tarantulas in Australia. I know how boring are our animals. But what they do is they just sit on your wall, like up the back corner there would be a perfect spot for one to just sit there. and they just catch flies and stuff when they go past. And so generally you'll see them, they won't move, and then the next day you'll get up and you'll be like, why is it on the other side of the room? What did it do during the night? But then if you do touch them or something like that, they are super fast. So these big things that just go, and you just freak out and go, get it away from me.
Oh my God. No,
So generally, what you
I
got
do
to
not
do is,
care for spiders.
I used to be really scared of them, but now I'm not. I'm more of a rational fear. I'm like, all right, I don't really like it, but well, the story was I got in the car and I went to get in the car and opened the door. Stop me! I've already told you the story because I feel like I have. I opened the door and the spider was sitting on the inside of the door. And Harry's jumped in to go to school and I'm getting in to go to work. And I'm like, whoa, there's a massive spider just sitting on the inside of the door. So I went, I know what I'll do. And I grabbed like a book that I had and I was like, gone just to push it down so that it would just fall off, run away. I missed it. And it ran the other direction and it ended up running straight into my air conditioner.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, great. So I told Harry to get out of the car, and then I sort of walked around squealing like a little girl for about 5-minute period. And then I'm like, all right, I've got to get Harry to school. Come on, we've just got to deal with it. Got in the car, took him to school. And then I came home and I just filled the car with like bug spray. I'm like, all right, I can't get it out of the air conditioner. I just got to try and kill it because it's going to run out at any given moment. And so for the next 3 days, I'm driving around just looking at my air conditioner, not the road.
Waiting for a spider to climb out of it.
Yeah, just waiting. And exactly that. The spider's probably this big. In my mind, it is a face hugger from Aliens that's going to come out of my air conditioner, jump on my face. I'm going to be in the middle of the freeway. It's going to be a pile up. But I didn't see it for 3 days. So I'm like, all right. I reckon it's gone. I've either killed it or it's gone back through to the engine bay and it's just gone or whatever. So then I sell air conditioning and heating for people. So like I would come around to your house and I would figure out what heater or cooler you needed and then give you a quote for a new system. So I'm walking into this lady's house and I'm going through the air conditioning, talking about this, that, and the other. And I just feel this tickle on my arm, and I'm like, what is that? Throw down, the spider drops off me. He was on my back in the car, and then came into the customer's house with me.
Oh my God.
Like, oh God. And then she's like, oh my God. She grabs a cup and she just puts it or a bowl and puts the bowl over the spider. And I'm like, oh, do you want me to get rid of that for you? Then I tell her the whole story. She's like, no. I don't like killing them. I'm like, no, I don't like killing them either. You got to put a cup over them or something, and then you get a bit of paper and you put it underneath, and then you got to hold the paper and then quickly run outside and then get rid of it so that it can live, but not in your house. But yeah, that completely freaked me out when that happened.
Yeah, it would me too.
You found Sammy Prepper. I'm nuts. Does the prepper stand for like doomsday prepping? Is that right? That's the thing, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only time I've heard that term. I don't know if Sammy's Japanese or Chinese or Australian.
I had, when my daughter was little, she came out of her bedroom one time and she said, oh my God, you got to understand, I hate spiders so much. It's like one of the few things, I mean, I can handle mice and snakes, but oh my God, I hate spiders, right? So my daughter came out of her bedroom and she told me, she said, Mommy, there's a big spider on my toy shelf. So I was like, oh, okay. So I grab a paper towel which when I kill a spider with a paper towel, it's one of those real quick things, right?
Yep.
And I go in there and I'm looking through her toy shelf, and there's a motherfucker spider that's like that long. I looked it up. It was a banana spider.
A banana spider.
Oh
Yeah.
my god! It was. I mean, I couldn't even get close to it. What I ended up doing there's this cleaner that they used to sell. I don't think they sell it anymore, but they used to sell it. It was called Big Wally, and you'd spray it, and it like turned into a bubbling foam. You know, it was a cleaner for like sinks and stuff.
Yeah.
So I went and grabbed a can of Big Wally, and I'm like, because I didn't have any bug spray. So I covered the spider with Big Wally foam.
I'm just looking them up here. They're kind of scary looking, but they're
Oh yeah,
apparently
it was horrifying looking. Oh my god, it was
apparently
scary.
they're very timid and not dangerous, but they can have a painful bite.
Oh, and they're very big.
I reckon that we saw. I was up in Cairns, so far north Queensland. You can imagine the creepy things that come out in those woods, and yeah, there was just this humongous spider web just hanging from a tree, and the spider was like the size of your head, but it was real thin and skinny, and you couldn't physically walk into the web because the way the trail went, but you could walk within like 30, 40 centimeters of it and go, oh my God, that is a spider. That is a web. And it looks sort of like one of those. And Sammy's from South Australia in Glossop, Riverland. I've never been to Glossop, Riverland. Or maybe I have. I've been to South Australia once. But,
my daughter, I remember my daughter, before I looked it up to see what kind of spider it was, she asked me what kind of spider it was. I told her it was a BMF spider.
big.
You know, as in big motherfucker.
It was big. It was big.
Yep.
We get redbacks in the front yard sometimes, and we actually had a redback plague when we first moved in here, and I was like, you're kidding me. Like the deadliest spider in the world, and it's a plague on there.
Oh my god, no.
And it's weird. So like this time of year, it gets a bit funny because where I live is like a little town, and then it's like 15 kilometers before you start getting into the suburbs. And that means that there's all paddocks. Basically, when I get in the car to go to work, it's like 10 minutes before I hit a traffic light or anything like that. And when it gets really cold out here, so it gets to like 1 degree during the night, and you go driving in the morning and all the frost, and you just see all of the grass is just covered in spider webs, and it's all frosted over. Like it's a creepy. Next time like it's not winter yet.
I've seen people post pictures like that before. It's
it's pretty scary because it really puts it into perspective of how many are there.
The worst spiders that we have here, as far as being dangerous, is the brown recluse spider.
Yep.
Which is generally a real shy spider, but the problem with them, and I've heard of this happening more than once, is they'll like hide in clothes. And then when you go to put on your shirt or whatever, if they're in there, they'll bite you, and their bite like rots your flesh, and will keep getting like a bigger and bigger and bigger hole where they bite you.
That's wonderful.
And they're pretty dangerous. And we also have the black widow spider, which I can spot a mile away. And they also, black widow spiders, they have a distinctive round shape, plus their spider webs, when you go to knock down a black widow spider web, it crackles. It makes a crackling noise.
Yeah.
But their bite is basically kind of like a bad bee sting, and it's not really that dangerous unless you're allergic to them or you get a whole bunch of bites.
Yep. Sounds like the recluse spider, the similar one we have, I don't know, might look the same, it's called a whitetail. So it's not super big. It's probably the one you got to worry about more than any others. And it just has the tip of its, is it abdomen? Is that what you call them? The big circular thingy at the back. The tip of it's just this white little spot. And it's exactly the same thing. They like getting into your bed, into your clothes, into the furniture. So you sit on them, and then they bite you, and they're poisonous.
Yeah.
I think they can kill a dog, and maybe a very, very small child, but not an adult or anything. But yeah, the amount of time. Like I woke up literally 6 months ago or something. I woke up and I was on one, and it was dead. So I'd rolled over in my sleep and killed it.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, it was pretty like, oh, go away.
So
And then I
the
was like,
brown
actually, that
recluse
would have been
spider,
really bad.
the brown recluse spider. I knew somebody in Portland that was in the hospital, and they're mostly in the desert areas, which Portland's not. But somebody had brought in a bouquet of flowers, and it had one in it,
Oh,
and it bit him. It bit him on his arm, and he ended up losing his arm because they couldn't stop it like rots your flesh and the infection and stuff, and it goes deep down and stuff, and they ended up having he lost his arm over it.
yeah, they're
So
gross.
they are bad. And then
And they're tiny
I
as
met a
well.
lady that got bit on the back one time because she put on a dress that was hanging in her closet, and there was one inside of the dress, and it bit her between her shoulder blades.
Yeah.
And like I say, they're bad.
Yeah, they're tiny as well, aren't they?
Yeah, they aren't very big. They have
looking
like a fiddle shape on their back, and like I say, they tend to hide. But the problem with them is that they hide in like shoes and clothes and stuff like that.
I've got a pet one in my bathroom.
A brown recluse?
Yeah. Lives
Well,
by the shower.
No,
Well,
no,
not
that's to
showering
keep
at your
anybody
house.
from ever visiting you, isn't it?
Ew. Oh, it's showing down here where they are. So they're sort of like southwest. Is that right? Or are they in the blue area? Found in the south central United States. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah, they like dry areas, like semi-arid areas, and they get in like wood piles and stuff like that. But we have naked fun girls on again.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me sub to that. Hold on. Don't do anything yet.
You're gonna sub to them.
oh, deleted bugger.
You see how they spelled gay? Gey.
Yeah, that's what I was the last time. Sammy, I do lives for hours every day or every other day, but have to privatize them straight away. Jealous peeps mass strike me for no reason. Thousands of lives. Okay.
Sammy, I subscribe to you too.
Yeah, I'll have to do the same. One of my friends, like 20 years ago, asked me to come up, help her move out of her apartment. And I said, no, why are you moving? And she said, because she had a brown recluse in the They all lived in Missouri. That caused your skin to... Yeah, that was actually what I said to my friends. I was like, oh, so I've got this friggin' spider in my car. And most of them were like, burn it. Just burn the car. That's it. Not getting it.
Yep, just burn it.
God. Oh, VB. Hang on, Sammy. Let's not get personal. Otherwise, I'll have to come and mass strike your lives.
I remember that kind of reminded, it's a little bit different, but kind of the same type of ending. It's like I got out of the shower one day and my kids had gone off to school and my husband was off to work. And I got out of the shower and just wrapped a house coat around me and sat down, and I was reading a magazine. And I looked up and saw a mouse coming out of the grill, the air grill on top of the fireplace. There's this damn mouse crawling out of there. So I rolled up the magazine, and it was crawling down the front of the fireplace. So I rolled up the magazine and I swatted the mouse, Well, it dropped down into a wooden apple crate full of newspaper for starting fires in the fireplace. It dropped down into that box of newspaper and went and disappeared. So I was like, okay, I'll fix you. So I just picked up the whole wooden box and I took it outside on the front porch and I set the box down and I called the cats, here, kitty, kitty, kitty. So all the cats come running over and they're looking at me, waiting to feed me, and they aren't even looking at the box with the mouse in it. So I'm like, God damn it. So I kicked the box a couple times and nothing happened. So I turned the box upside down and dumped all the papers out. And the mouse took off running right towards me and hit the back of my house coat and started running up the back of my house coat. And I screamed and I ripped off the house coat and I'm dancing around shaking the house coat. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm standing outside naked, shaking my, because that's all I had on was a house coat. So the mouse dropped out of the house coat and ran back into the house.
Back into the house. You're like, all that for nothing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like standing out on my front porch naked as a jaybird,
Oh god. We get mice a bit here too, but recently we've been getting pest guys in a little bit more often because they're annoying because they get into the cupboard and then you're like, oh, I've got to throw all this food out now because I can see mouse poo, and you're like, I don't know what they've touched. But do you know what a rainbow lorikeet is?
No.
I can't show you, can I?
Like, yeah, you can, like, if you hit share, then it'll pop up and then I can like click on it to share it.
Rainbow.
So you can go to like share and then pull up a picture that you want to share and then.
Laura, how do you spell lorikeet? Lori. This bird, all right, I'll show you. Let's have a look. Let's go here and let's go here. Let's go there. Let's go that. And then just go to the window. Not that. Check this out.
Oh my gosh, that's pretty.
How stunning are they?
Wow.
So we get a lot of those around where I live. I don't know. Do you get them too, Sammy? I'm not sure if it's like they're all over Australia, but definitely where I live. And so it was about Christmas time or New Year's, and we were staying down at my wife's parents' house, and they have like 4 or 5 acres. So the dogs just live outside, and they love it. They run around. The kangaroos come by every evening. So they bark at the kangaroos, and there's a bunch of echidnas. There's about 3 echidnas that live on the property as well. So they like to bark at the echidnas. Anyway, I get up one morning, and my wife's like, Josh, get up. I'm like, what? Like, there's a bird. And I was like, a bird? What do you mean there's a bird? There's a bird, and I think Arlo's got the bird. And I was like, what? Arlo's the dog. And I walk out, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? And they're like, this rainbow lorikeet has flown straight into the window.
Oh, it knocks itself out. Yeah.
Yeah, knocked itself out, hit the ground, and Arlo's gone, what was that? And gone and picked it up. And she's like, and she does not like birds. They're pretty, but doesn't want them near it at all. That's fine. And I was like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, you've got to get it out of his mouth. And I'm like, okay. So I go and get a plastic bag. And I'm just like, because I don't want to touch. It's all muddy out there and everything as well. So I get a plastic bag and think, all right, I can just try and get it out and it'll be fine. I walk back and there must have been 2 feathers left. Arlo had eaten the bird whole, pretty much.
Oh.
And we're like, what just happened? And for the rest of the holiday, we were like, I cannot look at you anymore, Arlo. Don't look at me.
Oh.
Yeah, it was just his cute little cuddly puppy, and all of a sudden you go, it's eating pretty animals. What's it doing? It was pretty funny anyway. Well, not funny. It was pretty weird. But yeah, they're stunning birds. They're super noisy though. They like just carry on. So
I'll bet, yeah.
A lot of people that have
like
them.
A parrot.
Yeah, well, you put some feed out, and you'll end up with like 5 or 10 of them just really loud, carrying on the whole time. So a lot of people don't like them for that reason, but I like them. We get galahs and cockatoos and stuff as well, but the problem with the galahs and cockatoos is they'll eat all the wood. So, like, if you put it out on the balcony and you've got wooden railings, they'll just eat the railings as well. And
Oh no.
so we have these sprinkler systems designed for birds that if they get in front of the sprinkler goes off and just kicks all the galahs and cockatoos off. There's a lot of cool birds around.
Huh.
I suppose it's because I live near the hills and more country than city.
Yeah. It'd be a good place to go bird watching.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like, we get lyrebirds. Do you know what they are?
I vaguely think I've heard of them. I'd probably recognize them as soon as I saw them, but
They have amazing songs.
oh, we got Naked Fun webcam again.
Hey.
Still here, Grasshopper, or do you want me to get it? Hi, Mooney. Moonstone, hello.
I'll share a picture of the
Yep,
lyrebird.
Grasshopper got him again.
I'll do this again. Have a look at these guys.
Oh yeah, those guys are cool.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure they're almost extinct.
Lyrebirds.
Yeah, and they make the most incredible sounds. I think lyrebirds can mimic any sound. I think it's them. 3,500 birds left. There are 2 species. That might just be, yeah. How's that? So only 3,500. And they only live in Victoria and in the east of the state. So basically, yeah, where I live is the only place they live. And lyrebird, what's the right word? Lyrebird, repeat. I think of what it would be. A mimic?
Yeah, I think I've seen a show on them that show that they mimic all kinds of sounds.
Yeah, the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's them.
I don't know if you're going to hear this, but
Advertising on YouTube helps you reach engaged customers like Jenna, who's been searching for land.
oh, okay. I don't care about
So
Jenna.
when she wa-
See, oh, it's David Attenborough.
He clears a space in the forest to service his concert platform. To persuade females to come close and admire his plumes, he sings the most complex song he can manage, and he does that by copying the songs of all the other birds he hears around him, such as the kookaburra.
That's crazy.
It's a very convincing impersonation.
Those kookaburras are really neat looking birds
Even
too.
the original is full. He can imitate the calls of at least 20 different species.
Oh my gosh, the Naked Fun webcam is back again.
Well, she likes his stream.
Also, in
Think
his
of all the
attempt
views
to
you're getting.
outsing his rivals, incorporates other sounds that he hears in the forest. That was a camera shutter. And again. And now a camera with a motor drive.
I hope I don't get a copyright.
And that's
You
the
won't.
car alarm.
I'll stop it just in case you do.
We have like over here. We have down in Texas there was a mockingbird, which will like make all kinds of noises of other birds and stuff too.
Sorry, what was the mockingbird?
Mockingbird, yeah.
Yep.
They do that. They make all kinds of noises.
That's crazy. How does like the camera shutter? You're like, how does it do that?
No, you hit them, Grasshopper. That's all you got to do is you click on hide user on the channel and that bans them, and you got it. Good night, Mooney. Oh my gosh, it's 12:26 here, which means it's 2:26 for Bob, which means we should probably let Bob go to bed. So I'm going to go ahead and end the stream.
No worries. You mind if I put a link for anyone that's not in America?
Yes, definitely put a link up to your premiere coming up.
A little bit. Yeah, it'll be a bit of fun. It's me talking to someone that knows exactly what they're doing when it comes to setting up a tank and aquascaping and stuff. So it's should be fun. And I think he's going to come along. I just sort of chucked it at him then. I was like, hey, do you want to actually come into the chat while we're doing this? Because a lot of people will probably have questions. He's like, yeah.
If I'm still up, because it always takes me a while to wind down and stuff before I go to bed. If I'm still up, I'm definitely going to pop over and watch it.
It'll take you extra time to wind down because you've been having a chat with me. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
If I went to bed right now, I'd probably dream of spiders in my truck. So.
And the mouse and standing naked out. And
Yep,
all right. Awesome.
Thank you so much for coming in. It was a total great amount of fun.
Yes, thanks for having me. And I took today off work to do a few things, and I went, I could actually jump on and say hello for once.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome.
You haven't been on for a while, so that was great.
Yeah, awesome.
So, and thank you everybody for coming into the stream, and oh my God, the super chats.
Oh, you're rich now. Awesome. See you guys. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Don't cuss yet, Bob. I haven't hit end broadcast yet.
Hey, I'm